halfway around the world. Coming to you live from Macau, China. It's 10 o'clock Sunday morning here at the Cotai Arena at the Venetian Hotel, even as it's Saturday evening across the United States. Tonight, it's the return of Manny Pacquiao. For a decade, he's been on top of the boxing world, a worldwide phenomenon. But 11 months ago, Pacquiao was unceremoniously knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez and is attempting to return to his former glory tonight. He'll be facing Brandon Rios, an all-action fighter whose 2 wars with Mike Alvarado have made him a must-see attraction. Tonight, Rios moves to welterweight to test Pacquiao. But before our main event, we have a 4-fight undercard, beginning with undefeated prospect Felix Verdejo. In his 9th pro fight, he's taking on Thailand's Pacquiao Duanamukdahan. After that, China's own Zhou Shiming, with 2 Olympic gold medals to his credit, has his 3rd pro fight, this time against Mexican Juan Toscano. Then, undefeated heavyweight prospect Andy Ruiz takes on another decorated former amateur, Tor Hammer. And in our final bout before the main event, featherweight title holder Evgeny Gradovich faces Billy Dibb in a rematch of their fight from March, won by Gradovich on a split decision. Pacquiao versus Rios is being brought to you by Cerveza Tecate, Con Carácter, 2 legends, the ultimate rivalry. Grudgment Day is coming. Brought to you by Warner Brothers. It's the new comedy Grudge Match in theaters Christmas Day. And by HBO Pay-Per-View, the best in pay-per-view entertainment, brought to you by HBO. And welcome to the Venetian Casino in Macau, China, regarded as the largest gambling facility in the world, and seen tonight of a foray into a new world for the sport of boxing as a major fight takes place on this peninsula, and with access to the 1.4 billion person population of China as a potential future audience for the sport. That's part of what's at stake here. Even more at stake, the future of Manny Pacquiao. Is there glory left in his already amazingly glorious career, or is this to be the last hurrah as Pacquiao gets ready to take on Brandon Rios? Both of them coming off of losses, which makes it one of the most unusual pay-per-view ventures of all time. So that's all down the road tonight, Pacquiao versus Rios and the whole narrative that goes with it. But in the meantime, you can text or you can send us your tweet to tell us who you think will win the fight between Pacquiao and Rios. Instructions are on the screen for how to place your vote, either by text or by tweet, and we will give you results of that ongoing poll as the evening goes on. Meanwhile, the first fight on the card showcases Felix Verdejo of Puerto Rico. He chased Olympic gold at London, lost in the quarterfinal to the great Vasyl Lomachenko, who went on to win a 2nd gold medal, this one in the lightweight division. Then Verdejo turned professional to become the hot young prospect from Puerto Rico, a country in search of a new boxing star. And here he'll be taking on a Thai opponent named Pacquiao Duanamukdahan. And when I'm joined at ringside momentarily here by Roy Jones and Max Kellerman, we're going to take the liberty of calling Pacquiao Duanamukdahan Mookie. So you can join at home if you want. Here's the tale of the tape now for Felix Verdejo against Pacquiao Duanamukdahan. And you can see that Verdejo is only 20 years old as he launches his career. He's already had 9 fights as a professional. He's got a 4-inch height advantage here, a 2-inch arm length advantage, every other kind of advantage you could possibly mention. Weighed in a half-pound under the 135-pound limit. He's been fighting in the 130-pound weight class. Duanamukdahan weighed 135 3/4, and you can see that unofficially tonight, the Thai opponent will come into the ring with a 6-pound weight advantage over Verdejo again. Puerto Rico, at this moment, without a title holder in the sport, they search for a new star. Could it be Verdejo? Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions on this fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cotai Arena here at the fantastic Venetian Macau. Today, Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated, in association with MP Promotions, is proud to present, live on HBO Pay-Per-View, world-class professional prize fighting for your entertainment. All bouts sanctioned by the Chinese Professional Boxing Organization and sponsored by Tecate Con Carácter, along with Grudge Match, 2 legends, De Niro. And this is the ultimate rivalry. The Grudgment Day is coming from Warner Brothers Pictures, a new comedy, Grudge Match in theaters everywhere Christmas Day. And Smart Communications, the Philippines' leading wireless provider. The 3 judges for this first contest will be Lisa Jampa, Edward Ligas, and Michael Pernick. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, Danrex Tapdasan. And now, a special 6-round contest. This is in the lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white and officially weighing 135 3/4 pounds. His professional record, an excellent one. 8 victories, only 1 defeat. He has a KO to his credit. He comes to us from Bangkok, Thailand. He is Petsumut Tuwanai Muktaihan. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing black with green, officially weighing in at 134 1/2 pounds. He's a 2012 Olympian and now a perfect professional record consisting of 8 fights, 8 victories, including 6 wins by knockout from San Juan, Puerto Rico. The undefeated Felix Pollo Verdejo.
Out of the ring, out of the ring. Out of the ring, please. One second, okay? I want a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, good luck.
Verdejo, has a kind of star quality about him that not every title holder or likely star out of Puerto Rico has. And there's a sense that if he can connect in the right fight, he can become a major Puerto Rican star.
I wonder what he has done with or for that star quality by entering the ring with a T-shirt that asks for the freeing of a political prisoner, someone who was convicted of sedition and sentenced to 70 years in prison in Puerto Rico. That was the import of the white T-shirt with black print that you saw Verdejo wear into the ring. Now in round 1, he gets ready to go against Duanamuktehan, who looks like a tough guy, not necessarily a boxer.
Not necessarily. Duanamuktehan looks like a guy who can punch, but he only has 1 knockout. So I don't understand it. I mean, how can you have 1 knockout but be able to punch like he's punching early? Maybe he just feels like he's outclassed and is trying for a knockout early.
Verdejo's billed as having all the skills, Roy Jones. And we just saw a nice-looking left uppercut there.
Nice-looking combination, Jim. Verdejo is a very good skill fighter. Anytime a guy can reach that level, especially being from somewhere like Puerto Rico, then you know he has to be a wonderful skilled guy, or else he would have never represented Puerto Rico in the Olympics.
And by the way, he lost in the quarterfinal to Lomachenko, regarded by some as maybe the best amateur boxer in history. The score of that bout was 13-9, meaning he was in it. It wasn't a wipeout.
Yes, he was, and that is one hell of a guy to lose to, because this guy has 1 gold medal already. Then you lose to him for his 2nd gold medal.
That's right. Right hand uppercut thrown from distance there by Verdejo, and now he turns it to the body. Good shots with both hands to the ribcage in round 1 by Felix Verdejo.
Yeah, Verdejo is throwing some great body shots. It looks like he's reminding Duanamuktehan to go to the body as well, though.
Fast 3-punch combination by Verdejo. If the left hook had landed solidly, it would have done some damage. Grazing punch. Another hard left-hand shot to the body by Verdejo.
Yeah, Pacquiao seems like he's getting a little discouraged from those shots. That was a beautiful left uppercut.
Giant speed differential. That's what Pacquiao Duanamuktehan is experiencing in there against Verdejo. He gets a chance to throw maybe 1 punch at a time. Verdejo throws 3 or 4.
3 or 4 good, crisp, sharp punches, too. Pacquiao Duanamuktehan, his punches are not as crispy as Verdejo's. And Verdejo has that, good uppercut, has that real calm, relaxed style that most of the great Puerto Rican fighters possess.
There was speculation among some members of the printed press corps, friends of ours in the States, that we might have trouble, might have difficulty pronouncing Pacquiao Duanamukdahan's name. But we have shown what hard work and dedication can do as we've gotten through the first round with clean pronunciations of Pacquiao Duanamukdahan.
ดีมากเลยยางเยี่ยมเลยไม่ต้องราดเดี๋ยวน้ำมันลงเนี่ยดีแล้วโอเคนะ
Tell him no low blow.
อย่าบอกอย่าต่อยต่ำนะอย่าต่อยต่ำเขาโอเคอันนั้นทุกอย่างโอเคแล้วแต่อย่าต่อยต่ำแค่นั้นเองที่เขาบอกโอเคดีแล้วนะเยี่ยมยอด
Relax, he's the one in the hurry. We're not in a hurry. Relax, breathe. Again? Water.
Here you see Verdejo going to both sides of Duanamukdahan's body, doubling up on the left here. Beautiful left body shot twice. Then going with the right under the rib cage on the left side. Beautiful body work by Verdejo.
Happy box numbers in round one. Verdejo, I should say, 18 of 67, and Duanamukdahan 8 of 31. Those numbers reflective of the condition I described midway through the round, that because of the speed differential, Verdejo gets to throw 3 or 4 punches at a time if he wants to, and Duanamukdahan can throw 1 before Verdejo slips away.
And you also see a little bit of a culture thing here, Jim. You see a guy from Thailand, Duanamukdahan, who's 8-1. He has 8 wins, but you see another guy here from Puerto Rico who has a much deeper boxing culture at 8-0. He has 8 wins also, but there's a big difference in the 8 wins in these two fighters.
Even though at this stage of his professional career, Roy, isn't it safe to suspect that Verdejo has yet to face a fighter as a professional who was anywhere near as good as the top guys he fought as an amateur?
Oh, most definitely. And I tell you what else, though. Duanamukdahan is not a bad guy. He's a tough guy who's taking a lot of punches. Most guys in these situations don't take the punishment as well as Duanamukdahan is taking it.
I've seen tough guys from Thailand. I've seen guys who could definitely take a punch from Thailand, some who could throw in combination. But I've never seen one who throws straight punches up the middle. Every fighter I've ever seen from Thailand throws roundhouse punches around the outside.
And once again, that's one of those things that I'm talking about when I say about the cultural background of boxing.
They just don't seem to have that level of instruction in the gym.
No, and because they don't have it in the gym, it doesn't trickle down.
Good combination with the right hand by Verdejo. Right hand to the body, right hand over the top. Another uppercut thrown there by Verdejo.
Ready.
Box.
Able to take some risks against Duanamukdahan because he can see what's coming.
Yes, Duanamukdahan is very wide. Very gritty, though, Jim. He's trying his best. Just skillfully, he's not as inclined as Verdejo.
No, but he's a solid fire plug kind of guy. And in a fight that is scheduled for 4 rounds, well, in this case, it's scheduled for 6 rounds. So there's a little more time, a little extra time there for Verdejo to wear him down and seek to gather the TKO. We're looking at Verdejo, who was unable to win an Olympic medal because he ran into Vasyl Lomachenko in his pairing at London. In the very next fight, we're going to see Zhou Shiming, who did win a gold medal at London, to go with the gold medal that he also won in Beijing in 2008.
And both guys showboating a little bit. You got to love it when a guy like Pacquiao is getting beat the way he is, but still game to show out and be competitive.
Drop his
in a fight
hands,
like this.
point
Yes.
to his chin. Step in and fire again. Now he waves and showboats for the crowd. Having a big time here in Macau. Next Saturday, it's 2 light heavyweight title fights as knockout artists Adonis Stevenson and Sergey Kovalev defend their championship belts in Quebec City. And December 7, Guillermo Rigondeaux, fresh off his domination of Nonito Donaire, takes on former title holder Joseph Agbeko. Also that night, James Kirkland squares off with undefeated Glenn Tapia.
Throwing punches. Don't exchange with him. If he goes with that stupidness, let him do the stupidness. You don't do that. It doesn't look good. I don't like it, okay? All right, be intelligent. Be intelligent, and he doesn't touch you. Stay on the outside, let him come in. Use the combinations easily. Nothing, no issue, no problem. Hard punches on the inside. Through the middle.
Back. Ready?
So since it's a 6-round fight, our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman, drops in for a visit after only 2 rounds. Harold, how'd you score the first 2?
Okay, Jim, I've got a 2-0, 20-18 Felix Verdejo. Jim, I got to tell you this. The Thai guy, Mookie, he sticks his tongue at you. Sticks his tongue out at you constantly. Look at this. I don't know.
How do you do that with a mouth guard on?
I don't know. I mean, if this keeps up, he's going to bite his tongue off.
Oh, what a right-hand shot by Verdejo. What a chin Mookie showed there.
Yes, he did. And the good thing about Mookie is he has to be sort of intelligent, because I would have at least been in the 6th grade before I could spell the one of Mukdahan.
Maybe his mom started training him from birth. You have a difficult name, son. You'd better learn it now. But he's got the personality of a Mookie. The way he played to the crowd, he instantly became Mookie.
Right away.
So, Roy Jones, we're less than 3 rounds in. Verdejo's only 20 years old, has a strong amateur background, has the tremendous Puerto Rican heritage up to which to live. What, if anything, can you see that he could do better?
Well, use his jab a little bit more. Maybe go to the body a little bit more, because if you look at it, he's the longer range guy. So use that jab to make Pacquiao have to get by that jab or negate that jab in order to get close to you. Don't let him just walk in like that. Put a jab on him and make him earn his way to the inside. But that will come with experience.
Do you think at some point, Roy, that Verdejo might have to learn to be a little less casual about the distance from which he'll throw an uppercut? He lets him rip from a fair distance every once in a while.
Yeah, he does, but I think that's because he can see everything that Pacquiao Mukdahan is throwing. So it really doesn't bother him to throw it that far away, because he's safe. As long as you can see what the other guy is doing, it's not a problem.
Two time, okay? Time. Are you okay? You're okay to go? Okay, warning, okay? Time in. Box.
I believe that was a low blow warning.
Yeah, I think it was.
Keep your punches up, come on.
Good combination.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Very good combination. But the one of Mukdahan is right back at it.
There's a tiny little bit of the Roy Jones in Verdejo, in that he'll begin a combination with a left hook, he'll begin a combination with a straight right hand, he'll begin a combination with a body shot or a head shot. By no means is he always conventional about starting off with the jab.
And you gotta love seeing that, Jim. For me to see a guy throw 4 or 5 punches in a row like that, I love it.
He's celebrating that you haven't knocked him out. That's the only thing you can do. That's the only thing you can do, because you're beating him up. Now breathe deeply. Again. That's it. You're good? Yeah. Be intelligent with it. All right, be intelligent. At the distance, use your jab. When he comes in, do the angles and put the uppercut in there. Left uppercut, all right? He's eating the right uppercut, okay?
Here you see a guy do something very difficult, Jim. He throws a right hand, switch to the southpaw position, then throws a beautiful right hook. Best punch of the fight so far for him, for Verdejo. I think that shot may have surprised and hurt Duana Mukdahan a little bit.
CompuBox numbers on jabs to this point in the fight. Verdejo landing 22 of 92. Duana Mukdahan has attempted 26 jabs. As yet, has not been given credit by CompuBox for having landed any of those punches. 2 weeks ago, in Corpus Christi, Texas, Mikey Garcia lifted from Rocky Martinez a 130-pound title belt. The significance of that to Puerto Rico is that for the first time in who knows when, Puerto Rico does not have an official title holder in the sport, even though, as Max Kellerman pointed out, in Corpus Christi, this happens at a moment when there are millions of titles, millions of weight classes, etc., etc. But this is the island country which produced Wilfredo Benitez, the youngest title holder in the history of the sport, and recently fighters like Felix Trinidad and Miguel Cotto. So it's culture shock, Max, for Puerto Ricans not to have a title holder in boxing.
Man for man, it's the best boxing country in the world.
What nationality is Garcia from Philadelphia?
He's Puerto Rican American.
He's Puerto Rican American.
But I mean, Puerto Ricans are Americans,
right.
but he lives in the United States.
And was born in the United States.
Born in the United States.
Gotcha.
His father's Puerto Rican.
I was just asking because I heard his name, and I thought he was somewhat Puerto Rican, but...
Danny Garcia, who's had a whale of a year and has to be in consideration among many other fighters for the Fighter of the Year honors.
You better believe it, because he's beaten some impressive fighters this year.
Well, he stopped Lucas Matisse in his tracks, and Lucas Matisse was, a rising star whose face had been on the cover of Ring magazine, which infuriated Danny's father, and Danny got a certain kind of revenge for that.
Now, after I said that about Puerto Rico, I have to consider the population of Cuba.
That's another possibility. But that's a long discussion, Max. Let's live with what you said about Puerto Rico for the time being.
I could live with watching Verdejo fight.
He's fun to watch, isn't he?
Yes, he is, especially with having a guy like Duana Mutahan in front of him, because he is not backing off. He's allowing himself to be hit. He's giving Verdejo opportunities to throw combinations, and Verdejo is doing a good job of that. Like that.
Well, as Verdejo's trainer told him, Duana Mutahan is celebrating the fact that you haven't knocked him out. That's the only thing he has to celebrate. And that was a subtle way of saying to Verdejo, buckle down, focus, stick to your knitting a little bit. Maybe the knockout will come.
His eyes are almost closed, it looks like.
And Verdejo is a little more flat-footed than I've seen him in the past. Not that he's totally flat-footed, but he can dominate a fight throwing real punches from his toes.
He does a really good job pivoting around his opponent too, Max. I see him throw punches, step around to the left and throw another punch, or step around to the right and throw another punch. Not a lot of guys do that anymore.
I think being on the balls of his feet helps.
It does. Oh, good uppercut.
Terrific body shots. He's very comfortably fast with his uppercuts. December 21, it's the year-end edition of The Fight Game. Join me for a look back at the best and most significant distinctions of the year 2013, along with a report on boxing's continuing Cold War.
Deep breath. You good? Again? Swallow.
He's see Verdejo showing speed. 1, 2, 3 punches before Duana Mutahan can get one off, and he doesn't even make contact. Then at the end of the round, you saw a right body shot followed by a beautiful left uppercut that landed right under the chin of Duana Mutahan.
Over the years, one of the most indelible litmus tests in CompuBox, does the dominant fighter land 50% of his power shots? In the fourth round, Verdejo landed 15 of 30, 50% of his power shots. Pechamuth, Duana Mutahan, 5 out of 22 in the same category.
And I don't know what was so amazing in Duana Mutahan's corner, but his trainer was laughing like I don't know what.
Maybe he's funny.
The way
Great left hook by Verdejo stops Duana Mutahan in his tracks again.
Yeah, and he backed off from that the way he backed off from the left hook in the previous round.
And this becomes a case of how much punishment does referee Don Rex Toptasan want to allow Mookie to take?
Yeah, well, Mookie is a guy that he would be dangerous with a really good trainer, because he has the heart of a champion, just doesn't have the skills to qualify.
Got the chin of a champion so far.
That too. There's a lot of great tools that you need to see in a young up-and-coming fighter. I really like Verdejo. I really like what I'm seeing in him. I like his poise. I like the way he attacks with combinations. I like the way that he works up and down. He goes body and head, back and forth. And then he steps out and uses the jab and the pot shots.
Purposeful movement.
Everything that he does is purposeful.
And he has as we said earlier, a star quality about him.
Definitely. Fluid combination puncher. Moves beautifully in the ring.
Stop! Come on. Last warning. Go there. Last warning, okay?
I'm not sure it was a low
Next
blow.
low blow
I'm not
will be
either.
1 point deduction, okay? Clear? Okay, 1 point deduction, low blow, okay? Next time. Time in. Box.
Mookie's not sure it was a low blow either.
As a matter of fact, Mookie got caught with a low blow a little bit before that.
But the combination puncher gets away with it more easily.
Oh, good uppercut.
For instance.
Then, like Max says, ooh, good shot.
Tremendous uppercut by Verdejo. Round 5 of a Schedule 6. Question is, can Verdejo get a stoppage and put a knockout on the record against a tough, durable opponent?
Yeah, like Max says, Duana Mukdahan may be one of those guys that's too tough for his own good.
Yeah, and he doesn't move his head a lot, Duana Mukdahan, but Verdejo is pretty impressive with the accuracy on some of these shots.
And throwing the right kind of shots.
Now Duana Mukdahan wants to play to the crowd again. Making a spectacle.
เยี่ยมยอดชนะใจคนทั้งสนามหายใจกล้ามเดี๋ยวอีกยับสุดท้ายอย่าชกตังอย่าชกตังนะบวกเลยนะยกนี้นะหายใจยาวอย่าไปรอเขายกสุดท้าย
Here you see Felix Verdejo uses lateral movement, goes left, then right to set up a beautiful right uppercut. Where he goes left, then stops and throws a beautiful right uppercut followed by overhand right. The right uppercut was probably the most impressive punch of the fight for Verdejo.
Wipe.
Duana Mukdahan able to put the mouthpiece back in motion as he was falling toward the corner. Harold, how do you have it scored coming to this last
Okay, so now
round?
we've got it 5-0, 50-44. Felix Verdejo. You know, Jim, that round 5 was a classic example of a round that should have been 10-8 without a knockdown. I mean, he staggered him, he just about had him out, and the referee was looking like he wanted to stop the fight. Felix Verdejo doing a terrific job with the, the movement, the punching, the combinations, everything. Jim, I got to tell you, though, Thai fighters generally came out of Muay Thai. In other words, they had a lot of fights in Muay Thai before they went to boxing. That's why they're as strong as they are. That's why they're as tough as they are. 5-0 Verdejo.
Yeah, when you think of the possibility of Verdejo trying to get the knockout here, knocking Pechamuth off his feet. Look at Pechamuth, Duana Mukdahan's legs. They remind you of Manny Pacquiao's legs. Thick calves, muscular, sturdy.
I must say, though, Felix Verdejo is throwing some good punches, and he's trying his best to end matters with these uppercuts.
I don't know if Duana Mukdahan has a Muay Thai background, but he has an interesting way of blocking those shots up the middle with his arms and forearms, and he is a bit squared up to his opponent and doesn't move his head a ton.
No, he blocks him with his arms, forearms, and his chin.
Yes, but those that's arm and forearm defense, it exists. I mean, he actually does block some shots up the middle.
Go there. What's a low blow? Come on. 1 point deduction, excessive low blows. 1 point deduction, excessive low blows. 1 point deduction, excessive low blows. Go there. Time in. Okay?
Well, that mattered.
One. Box.
Come on, ref, the guy's getting killed already.
Well,
He's not trying to throw the low blows. If he was trying, or if they were really low, I could understand. But they're belt line low blows, which they're not really bothering Verdejo. So
if this Verdejo's not complaining. If this was a couple rounds ago, the ref would be doing him a favor by DQing him and taking him out of 2 or 3 more rounds of punishment. But the fight's almost over.
Exactly. But at this point, it really doesn't serve any purpose. So why take the 2 points or the point?
Like I said, it really mattered. But more and more it appears as though Pacquiao Duanamuknahan is going to make it to the final bell, and you can feel it coming. He's going to celebrate that too. He's going to play to the crowd. He's going to wave his arms, have some fun. It's not all that long a trip back to Bangkok, but
I'm just upset that we'll never probably get to say Pacquiao Duanamuknahan again on an HBO broadcast.
Hard work, dedication, we got it done.
You know, Max, I'm a little
upset. And now, if he ever comes to America, he's already set up with a nickname. He's Mookie.
Step back clean, step back clean.
Verdejo working and working, but can't quite get the TKO. Goes the distance against the Thai fighter Pacquiao Duanamuknahan. And Duanamuknahan, as we suggested, plays to the crowd. Quick report card on Verdejo, Roy Jones.
Love everything that I've seen about him. Wonderful jab, wonderful poise, wonderful power, along with the speed. Has everything that it takes offensively and defensively to really progress in this sport. If he just can continue to keep his head on right and fight the right type of opponents. Pacquiao Duanamuknahan was a great opponent for him because he was tough enough to force him to go the whole distance and get the job done.
Harold, who are the 3 judges who will score this fight?
Okay, so Lisa Giampa from Las Vegas, Nevada. You know, she's a relatively new judge. She's run into a high-profile situation, but she's a good judge. As you see, she had Paulie Malignaggi correct over Jose Cotto. Edwin Ligas from the Philippines, we don't know much about him. He's never had any notable fights as a judge. We're just hoping for the best. And last but not least, Michael Pernick, new inductee into the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. As you see, had Paulie Malignaggi over Juan Diaz in the second fight in Chicago, 116-111. Absolutely perfect score. Michael's one of the best out there.
Harold, Lisa Giampa's assignment to this particular fight is perfectly all right. No problem. We'll have another discussion about her, most likely later on in the evening.
Correct.
And now Michael Buffer has the official results in hand. Let's go there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. All 3 judges scored about the same, 60-53 to the winner by unanimous decision. He's still undefeated from San Juan, Puerto Rico, Felix El Diamante Verdejo.
So one post-Olympic prospect, Felix Verdejo of Puerto Rico, gets his job done. And now in the next fight, we're going to see Zhou Shiming of China trying to continue his early genesis as a professional. Final CompuBox numbers in this one are going to reflect the overwhelming dominance of Verdejo, who landed 123 out of 370 for 33%, but had a significantly higher connect percentage, I believe, when we get to the power punch category. We don't have power punches, we only have jabs. Let's take a look at what Verdejo did in that category. 34 out of 160. He could probably learn to be a little bit more accurate and a little bit more disciplined with the jab.
Yeah, he could, and probably use it up and down would help him too, because if he jabbed to the body more, he would land a higher percentage.
Duanamuknahan got off the schneid late in the fight, finally landed a jab so that CompuBox could not put a simple goose egg there in the landed jab category for him. We're coming to you live from Macau, China, hard by the South China Sea. It's an exotic locale here, halfway around the world. Still to come tonight. Two-time Olympic gold medal winner Zhou Shiming in his third pro fight against Juan Toscano. Then Mexican heavyweight prospect Andy Ruiz takes on Tor Hamer. After that, Russian featherweight title holder Evgeny Gradovic faces Billy Din in a rematch of a split decision won by Gradovic in a spirited fight back in March. And then our main event, Manny Pacquiao against Brandon Rios in a fight which will go a long way toward determining what the great Filipino star has left in the tank. And we say that because last December, Pacquiao's future was thrown into doubt, as in his fourth fight with Juan Manuel Marquez, Pacquiao got off to a pretty good start, and after the first couple of rounds seemed to be doing well. Then in the third round, ate that right hand over the top from Marquez and was knocked down, bringing hope and excitement to the Marquez faithful. But over the course of the next 3 rounds, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth, Pacquiao was winning and seemed dominant. And in the 5th round, he scored that knockdown on a glove touch by Marquez. In the 6th round, Pacquiao was bloodying Marquez with combinations, landing hard punches. And as the seconds ticked down in the round, Pacquiao claims he was opening up, trying to go for the knockout at the moment when Marquez caught him with a perfect right-hand counter shot, left Pacquiao twitching on the canvas, and ultimately got the win he'd been looking for years, knocking out Manny Pacquiao at 259 of the 6th. There's the recent record for Pacquiao. We show it to you to highlight the fact that once a great knockout artist and a stunningly dynamic, destructive fighter, Pacquiao now has not scored a knockout since 2009 when he TKO'd Miguel Cotto. That story continues later on this evening. Now the tail of the tape as we get ready for 32-year-old Zhou Shiming. Remember, he went to 3 Olympics, winning 2 gold medals. And 21-year-old Juan Toscano, a 1-inch height advantage for Shiming, for Zhou. Arm length is equal, 21 inches apiece. They both weighed in well under the 112-pound limit. Tonight, unofficially, Toscano's up to 116, and Zhou is 115. Toscano is from a family of marathon runners in Ensenada, Mexico. He himself has completed marathons, so you have to expect that he has pretty good stamina. Combined opponents' records up to this point, miserable, desultory. This is a different thing now as he gets ready to face a guy who is favored to beat him, Zhou Shiming. Boxing was banned under Mao Zedong and throughout the Cultural Revolution. But shortly after the Cultural Revolution came to a close, this young man, who lived in Western China near where Mao Zedong was originally from, took up boxing and wound up winning, as we said, the 2 Olympic medals. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the Venetian Macau, the action continues, and it's courtesy of Top Rank Incorporated and MP Promotions. Sponsored by the motion picture Grudge Match. 2 legends, Stallone and De Niro, the ultimate rivalry. Grudgment Day is coming from Warner Brothers Pictures, a new comedy Grudge Match in theaters everywhere Christmas Day. And Tecate con Carácter, along with Smart Communications, the Philippines' leading wireless provider. The 3 judges at ringside scoring this bout will be Lawrence Cole, Lisa Ciampa, and Manfred Kuchler. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, referee Gennaro Rodriguez. And now this is a special attraction scheduled for 6 rounds in the flyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black with green, red, and white. Official weight, 110 pounds. A perfect professional record, 4 fights, 4 victories with 1 KO to his credit. From Ensenada, Mexico, Juan Toscano. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing gold with blue, officially weighing 111.5 pounds. Since capturing Olympic gold, he now also has a perfect professional record consisting of 2 fights, 2 victories. From Guizhou, the fighting pride of all China, Zhou Shiming.
in Spanish and English? Pollo, ¿qué hubo? ¿Hablamos inglés? ¿Habla inglés? No? Okay. Gentlemen, you know the rules, obey them, protect yourself at all times, and obey my commands. Listen, Pollo, obedece mis instrucciones todo el tiempo, protege todo el tiempo, y suerte. Good luck. Both. God bless.
Zhou Shiming has 2 gold medals, 3 medals overall, and a world-renowned trainer in Freddie Roach. And he's going to have to start showing some improvement, showing that he can actually fight, or he just becomes kind of a placeholder until a really dynamic Chinese fighter comes along.
In his first professional fight back in April here in Macau, he was not terribly impressive against Eleazar Valenzuela, clearly throwing too many long looping punches. In his second fight against Jesus Ortega, he stepped up into the pocket, fought with shorter, straighter, more powerful punches, but also took more punishment than his trainer might have expected him to do. On the other hand, he has purportedly shown tremendous quality at some times in the gym, including in a 4-round sparring session with the much larger Manny Pacquiao. So now he goes to work against yet another obscure opponent in Toscano.
Had to be one heck of a confidence booster for him to finally get in the ring and survive for 4 rounds with the much bigger Manny Pacquiao.
An interesting choice for Roach to allow in the gym, given that Zhou told us yesterday he's never been knocked down as an amateur, as a pro, and that's a long career never to have been knocked down. So Pacquiao got a chance during 4 rounds of sparring to do to him what no one had ever done. It probably would have punctured his confidence a bit, but it didn't happen.
I don't think it would have punctured his confidence, but I do see much better punching.
Much better.
Than I've seen in the previous 2 fights of him. So I like so much already the improvement that I see in Zhou Shiming.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looks like the Pacquiao sparring did worlds of good for him.
Hard right hand by Zhou.
He's fighting like a professional.
So Freddie Roach's work seems to be beginning to pay off with Zhou Shiming, who is much better looking now in the first 2 minutes of this fight than had been the case in his 2 previous professional appearances.
I already got Juan Toscano busted up a little bit. A lot of redness on his face from that left hook.
Jim, as you mentioned, first fight, he looked amateurish. Second fight, he was working on his offense, and in this fight, it looks like he's starting to integrate the offense and the defense.
Well, finally, the punches are showing some impact. He didn't seem to have power in his first 2 professional fights. He is hurting Toscano with hard shots.
Yes, he is. Look like Toscano's eyes busted on the right side.
Yeah, underneath the eye.
So clearly has instincts and some hand speed, making them work the right way in this first round against Juan Toscano.
You know, I like his feet work too, Jim. He has pretty good footwork to be, you know, a guy who's from a culture that really hasn't done a lot of professional boxing. Great footwork.
Deep breath. Deep breath, deep breath. Take a deep breath. You've done very well, very well, very well. Great job. And protect yourself. Protect yourself. It's been very effective. Very effective.
Gotta throw more punches, son, please. Okay, please, okay? Don't give him the initiative. You let him lead.
Here you see Toscano and Shiming exchange right hands. Great right hand by both fighters, but Shiming's right hand seemed to do more damage because he was better positioned when he threw his.
I want to make the point that normally Freddie Roach would be in Zhou Shiming's corner. He was for each of Shiming's first 2 professional appearances. Tonight, clearly, Roach is focused on his prize product, Manny Pacquiao, and so Marvin Somodio, Roach's trusted assistant, who did such a great job
with Ruslan Probodnikov in Colorado against Mike Alvarado, is running the corner for Zo tonight.
You mentioned culture in the last round. Speaking of culture and Freddie Roach, you know, the Kronk gym under Emanuel Stewart really brought this kind of team concept to boxing at the time. The idea like a great pitching staff or an NBA team where they have stars scrimmaging against each other hard, and so they get better because they compete against each other. The culture of a couple of gyms still today reflect that kind of attitude. Wild Card is one of them, and Robert Garcia's gym in Oxnard is another, which we're going to see obviously in the main event, those two against each other. But I think Shiming here is showing the improvement that comes from the culture of the gym that Freddie set up, where you have top fighters, competitive fighters, making each other better.
I can't say that. I can't say that for Shiming. I got to say for Shiming, it all had to do with the sparring with Manny Pacquiao.
Well, that's what that is, isn't it?
Yeah, but he had been in Wild Card Gym already before that. The first two fights, he was already in Wild Card Gym.
The fact that
we saw no improvement. We saw improvement now after he sparred with Pacquiao, because being in the ring with Pacquiao taught him what it feels like to be in front of a real professional.
Right, but he
asked how a real professional is supposed to react and perform.
And we're seeing that sparring, Roy.
Of course he asked
and
for
you
it.
can't ask for it if the guy's not in the gym.
Well, that's true too. But what I'm saying is, I don't think just being in the gym did. I think with him being in front of, in the ring with a top guy like Pacquiao made the difference, because he was around those guys already. We didn't see much improvement from him. Once he went in the ring with him, now we see him looking like a killer.
Yeah, he showed some initiative in asking for sparring with Pacquiao.
Well, and let's face it, it's probably a slightly different process with Zo Shiming than would be the case with some other prospect for Freddie. This guy's 32 years old. He's a grown man.
That too.
You know, he's an adult. He has to learn fast. That's what Roach said. It's got to be a fast process.
And I agree with that 100%. That's why with him asking to get in there, he had to get in to actually see how it felt to be in the ring with a real champion. He didn't know from watching it and from being on the outside and just being in the gym with those guys. He had to get in and experience it. But now with the combinations he's throwing and with the zip that he's putting on his punches, I can tell that he knows what he's doing now.
Part of those gym cultures are that they do spar together and they do compete with each other. And I think Shiming is starting to participate in that.
Oh, good shot.
We are in Macau. It was once a Portuguese colony. In 1999, the Chinese took it back, and it became a protectorate of the People's Republic of China. There's Brandon Rios, who arrived a little bit less than an hour ago in the company of Eduardo Garcia, the father of his trainer, Robert Garcia. And 45 minutes later, with Dinky Pacquiao on his arm, Manny Pacquiao arrived. After the scuffle that took place in the gym earlier this week between Robert Garcia's troops and Freddie Roach and his troops, Pacquiao looked at the video and reportedly said to Freddie, "That's all I need to know. I'm going to punish them." We'll see if he's capable of delivering the punishment later tonight. And you may have noticed that Dinky Pacquiao is with child yet again, as Manny Pacquiao's family continues to grow. Harold, how did you have it for the first two between Zo Shiming and Juan Toscano?
Okay, Jim, I got a 2-0, 20-18, Zo Shiming. I agree with all of you guys. I think Zo Shiming is a much improved fighter. Fast hands, ring generalship, aggressiveness, you know, nice combinations. The kid just keeps coming. And Toscano cut under the right eye in the second round. One thing about Zo Shiming, though, real quick, he never stops smiling all the time. 2-0, Zo Shiming.
And one thing that we haven't mentioned, Roy, counterpunching skills. He is showing counterpunching skills in abundance here.
Yes, he is. And that, like Max said, that comes from being in the gym with great fighters. But you also develop a camaraderie where you want to do good like the rest of your guys are doing. You don't want to be the only guy on the team who doesn't look well. And as you see tonight, we have Miguel Cotto in the audience watching. You know, he has Pacquiao coming behind him. So he has to try to look the best that he can.
And look at him trying to finish his man.
Absolutely. He's showing professionalism here in his desire to finish and the moves he's making to try to finish. As soon as he hurt Toscano, he went after him. And now let's see what, and Gino Rodriguez isn't going to say anything about that. Go
I
back
like
to work.
that from Shiming. Protect yourself at all times. If the referee doesn't say break, you keep punching.
He hasn't had a knockout as a professional so far, and the grin on his face tells you he'd like to get one.
Looks like he's about to.
He has hurt Toscano twice in this round.
Shiming, having sparred with Pacquiao, thinks, hey, I sparred Pacquiao. What's this in front of me?
Exactly. But Toscano is a tough character too now because he's taking some real punishment from Shiming.
Not
I mean,
for much
some
longer,
real
it doesn't
punishment.
look like. This was an important fight for Shiming to do this, to start showing people that he could advance and wasn't just kind of a publicity stunt in spite of the gold medals.
2 gold medals.
Right, and a bronze. He's going for the transformation to a real professional here.
Well, part of the top-ranked mantra is that he has a chance to become the largest audience fighter in the world because of the size of his public in China. And if they want to be entertained, this is an entertaining fight style that he's showing right here.
It sure is.
He said his mother raised him like a daughter, like a girl, his parents' only child, and wouldn't let him do the things boys did, and he felt free once he picked up boxing. He felt that it was a place of self-expression, and he's fighting like that, not just a technical improvement, but with real joy.
There's a river of blood on the right side of Toscano's face, and Gino Rodriguez is looking at him and bringing up the doctor.
Very good. Thank you. All right.
And the fact that his mom brought him up like that, I think also attributes to the fact that why he wanted to get in the ring with Pacquiao. He wanted to prove that, hey, I'm a man just like everybody else is around here, so put me in.
I don't understand the idea of letting this fight continue, only because it seemed like a good enough excuse to stop it, and this is extremely one-sided.
I agree. Next Saturday, it's 2 light heavyweight title fights as knockout artists Adonis Stevenson and Sergey Kovalev defend their championship belts in Quebec City. December 7, Guillermo Rigondeaux, coming off his domination of Nonito Donaire, takes on former title holder Joseph Agbeko. Also that night, James Kirkland squares off with Glenn Tapia. Check out HBO on Instagram for more photos like these.
Some heavy punches, more heavy punches. All right, okay.
Very good, huh? Keep your hands
Very
up.
good, very good.
Our interpreter tells us that nothing, absolutely nothing, was said to Toscano by his cornermen between rounds. Meanwhile, Zhou Shiming held his head back and seemed to be exulting in the fun that he's having, whipping up on Toscano in there. Max, you mentioned that he's an only child. About 85% of children in China are only children, and there's a high level of rebellion against the parents. In Zhou's case, boxing is his form of rebellion.
And self-expression generally, I think, and he's here just looks like he's having fun. Toscano doesn't look like he's having too much fun, and I don't know why the ref, you got a nice cut there, a good reason to stop the fight. Why let this kid just take another 100 punches in the head?
So far through 3 rounds, Zhou's landed 98 punches to only 25 for Toscano, and it's getting more one-sided as we go along. Roy, he began his combat career in a martial arts form called Wushu. What do you know about Wushu?
Not a thing, except I don't even know how to spell Wushu.
Max, you know anything about Wushu?
Well, he said that it's like it's a very martial art. You follow the moves out of books, and it's very regimented and strictly formatted. And
he wanted to let his hands go.
He wanted to do this. He didn't want it to be out of books. He wanted to react to things and let this be an extension of his own identity, and that's how he's fighting right now. Obviously, the work with Freddie and Marvin's work here in the corner tonight has clearly paid off.
Father is a graduate school educated engineer. Mother is a teacher. Son is a boxer. Professional. Brand new form of life in China.
taken a few less hooks that he probably shouldn't be taking, Shiming.
Yeah, but he's shown a very good chin tonight because this kid, Toscano, has hit him with some good shots, and he's walked right through those shots. Like that body shot right there.
Nice straight right hand by Shiming. Even if all gold medalists or two-time gold medalists aren't created equal, Shiming on the one hand and obviously Lomachenko and Rigondeaux on the other, for example, they ain't just handing out gold medals. You got to be able to handle yourself to an extent.
Not only do you have to be able to handle yourself, but you also have to be able to take some stuff. And he's taking really good shots tonight because as a gold medalist, no matter what weight class you're in, you're going to see it all.
Yeah, so it's not as though Freddie is working with just pure raw material. He's working with a guy who's competitive to a certain degree, obviously, and well-versed at least in amateur boxing.
Fight is scheduled for 6 rounds. 2 more to go for Toscano and Lomachenko. Excuse me. And Zhou Shiming. Freudian slip. Which will look ahead to Lomachenko's next appearance on the ring.
I need you to throw both hands. You see? Okay. I need you to let your 2 hands go. 2 hands, boyo. But let them go. Let them go. It's the 5th, son. It's the 5th. Let him go, babe. Let him go. Let him go, son, right? Don't throw to the head, throw to the shoulders.
I gotta say, the fighter doesn't appear to think as though letting his hands go is a really good idea at this point. I'm not sure he agrees with the instruction he was given. Average punches around through 4. Zhou 30 out of 85. Toscano 10 out of 65. And by throwing 65 punches per round, Toscano has left himself open to a number of thunderously hard counters by Zhou Shiming.
Yeah, it's because he steps up, as you see here, steps all of his weight on his front foot, and most of the time it leaves his punches out too long. And that's why Zhou Shiming is so rapidly able to counter the punches.
All the weight on the front foot. Cultural trait of Mexico, Roy?
No, I can't say it's a cultural trait of Mexico because all of them don't do that. However, the ones that do, they throw so many punches off of their front foot to your body and to your head that it's very difficult for you to counter it.
More about his kind of self-expression that boxing allows Zhou Shiming. He said if he wasn't a fighter, he'd want to be a fashion designer or a French food chef. You know, also kind of creative work. And as I've been pointing out, he really is taking joy in expressing himself here against this hapless opponent. But to see if he can actually score a stoppage here. You don't want it to hit like a fashion designer or a French food chef. You want him to hit like a former amateur and potential future world champion. And he's landed a lot of punches, and his opponent's still standing.
I can think of some fighters who got very serious about designing their own trunks during the course of their careers. Hector Camacho, Roy Jones. That's a form of fashion designing. Long lead right hand by Zhou
to stop the fight, ref. There's a good enough reason. There's a good enough reason. Just, you know, anyone care about Toscano at all in the corner? Anyone? Is that a good enough reason to stop the fight?
He didn't bring his parents down with him. He brought a couple guys that don't know him that well.
I'd like to stop the fight. I know Shiming's not a big puncher,
but you're exactly right. There's virtually no chance that Toscano could find some answer which would shift the momentum here or give him a chance to actually win the fight.
And let's say it did. We've seen enough from Toscano to know now. Is there a bright future for him in boxing?
No.
So let's say he did land a miracle punch and avoided defeat somehow. Does that open up doors to unlimited opportunities for him? No. What exactly is the point?
Yeah. The biggest thing to this is you have one guy who escalated to the highest degree as an amateur and another guy you know nothing about. There's no way that he's going to land a punch to do anything to Shiming tonight.
The only thing he's going to need is more stitches as this fight goes on in that right eye.
That's exactly right.
And that's a best case scenario.
But
More and more, it appears that we'll go to the end of the 5th round, and unless Toscano's corner makes a decision, most likely into the 6th. Moments ago in Manny's locker room, Manny Pacquiao greets Ruslan Provodnikov of Siberia in Russia, who was a primary sparring partner for Pacquiao prior to each of Pacquiao's last 2 fights. And there's an underground speculation in the sport. Exactly how much did Provodnikov take out of Pacquiao in the gym? Because he has turned out to be a tremendously rough customer who is now regarded as a potential opponent for the winner of Pacquiao versus Rios, regardless of who wins the fight.
All the way. Well done. Keep it up. Keep it up. Last round, last round.
Want to catch him with 1 punch only? You can't just catch him with 1 punch. Look for it.
Power shots in round 5. Zhou Shiming landing 17 of 38, punishing Toscano, who landed 5 of 36 power shots himself by being reckless enough to throw the 36 power shots. Of course, Toscano was leaving himself open to counters. Shiming has, or Zhou, I should say, has been more and more accurate on his counter punches throughout the fight.
Yeah, but last round, Jim, like Max said, Toscano walked to the corner as though he was defeated. And you hate to see him out here taking this extra punishment for no reason when he's already given up in his heart.
You mentioned Provodnikov, and we saw Provodnikov, and he's another, I think, product of the culture of wild card. The fact that he sparred Pacquiao may not have been great for Pacquiao. Pretty good for Provodnikov. He seemed to improved a lot.
Harold, how do you have it coming to the last round?
Look at Jimmy. You know, it's not how you score this fight. It's whether you give Zhou Shiming an extra point for winning these rounds so darn big. I've got it 5-0, 50-44. Zhou Shiming, I gave him an extra point in round 3. That's the round when the doctor came in. That's the point when the fight should have been stopped, just like Max said. Arthur McCarthy taught me something years ago. He said, when you call in the doctor, if the doctor don't want to stop it, you wave your hand that the fight's over and you point at the doctor. Nobody knows the difference. Anyway, 5-0, Zhou Shiming.
Some fans will wonder if we are more sensitized to the discussion of whether the fight should be stopped because we're now in the 3rd week of the vigil surrounding Magomed Abdusalamov, the heavyweight who was stricken after his fight with Mike Perez in the small room of Madison Square Garden a few weeks ago. And for that, I'd say, why shouldn't we be?
And that fight, by the way, was an example of Abdusalamov. We started talking stoppage in the 4th or 5th rounds, but he became competitive enough again later in the fight to have us back off that talk. But that didn't negate the punches he was taking simply because he was punching back. Here, Toscano has no hope of winning. He's trying to do what he can, but it's not much, and he's just taking a terrible beating. And at a certain point, it's incompetence of everyone involved, the ref, the doctor, the corner.
Zhou has proven
at
this point
competition anymore.
Zhou merits the TKO too. That's yet another reason why the fight should be stopped. He's performed well enough to get it.
Yeah, he only had 20 amateur fights fighting against a 3-time Olympian. Dude, I mean, enough is enough.
Stop the fight. Go.
So now Rodriguez is the referee for the main event tonight between Manny Pacquiao and Brandon Rios. So you'll see him in the ring again.
The ref is so consumed with whether Toscano can continue. Is he throwing punches back? Is he in a position to continue? That's besides the point.
So Toscano will go back to Ensenada, Mexico, the victim of a thorough beating. Zhou Shiming's very short-term reputation as a professional will rise because he looked better, particularly in the first few rounds here, against Toscano than was the case against his 2 previous opponents. And the crowd gets what it wants, a scintillating performance by the Chinese star.
There's a great performance by the Chinese star. I thought I saw a lot of improvement. However, Toscano showed a huge heart because it's not his job to quit and give up. It's the people around his job to protect him from himself.
Harold Letterman's final scorecard on the fight. At the top of the screen, you see the results so far in the poll available to you. Text or tweet who you think will win between Pacquiao and Rios. Instructions at the top of the screen. Harold, who are the 3 official judges who now scored this fight?
Okay, Jim. Lawrence Cole from Texas, you know, very well-known referee. He told me he very rarely judges, but be as it may, I don't think he's in a tough one this time. Lisa Giampo, as we said in the last fight, relatively new judge. Orlando Salido, 8th round TK over 1-1 marker. She had the fight even, which was probably the right score at the time. And Manfred Kukler from Germany, from Hanover, Germany, veteran judge, had Zinzaruk over Yoel Julio, 116-112. That was the right score.
2 of these 3 judges will be scoring the main event, Kukler and Lisa Giampo. Harold will speak again about them at that point. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official results of this one.
The Venetian Macau, ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Manfred Kukler and Lisa Giampo both score the contest 60-54. Lawrence Cole has it 60-52. All 3 scores go to the winner by unanimous decision. Still undefeated, the fighting pride of all China, the fist of gold, Zhou Schmid.
And final CompuBox numbers. We show you the overall. Zhou Shiming landing 136 more punches and throwing 136 more punches. Zhou Shiming landing 39% of his power punches as time goes by. Perhaps he'll become more accurate against an outclassed opponent like Toscano. Punch Zone will show you where the punches landed, and Zhou Shiming landing 175 punches upstairs on the head. That was unnecessary punishment in a lot of instances for Toscano to take because the outcome of the fight was clear very early on. Did you know Macau isn't exactly in China? Along with Hong Kong, it's one of 2 special administrative regions of the People's Republic of China. Now you know. Still to come tonight. Mexican prospect Andy Ruiz faces Tor Hamer in a heavyweight battle of former decorated amateurs. And then, featherweight title holder Evgeny Gradovic tangles with Billy Dibb in a rematch of Gradovic's split decision victory in March. Then our main event, Manny Pacquiao against the all-action Brandon Rios. Rios actually claims to love getting hit. We'll see how much he enjoys receiving it from the Filipino icon tonight. Before our next fight, let's take a look at what HBO Boxing has in store for you in the coming weeks. Next Saturday, 2 light heavyweight title fights. Adonis Stevenson attempts to continue his knockout streak against Tony Bellew, and Sergey Kovalev matches up with Ismail Salak. December 7, 122-pound champ Guillermo Rigondeaux faces off with Joseph Agbeko. Also that night, James Kirkland takes on Glenn Tapia. December 21, it's the year-end edition of the Fight Game. Join me for a look back at the best and the most significant distinctions of 2013, along with a report on boxing's continuing Cold War. And beginning December 23, it's 5 nights of HBO's best fights from 2013. Among the standouts, Bradley Provodnikov and Rios Alvarado 2. For our full schedule, visit HBO.com and our Facebook page. Table to tape now for an upcoming heavyweight fight. Andy Ruiz against Tor Hamer. Andy Ruiz, 24 years old, was born in Imperial, California, now lives in Mexicali, Mexico. Mexican fight fans have waited years for the first legitimate, serious heavyweight championship contender out of Mexico, and there is hope that Ruiz can become that man. He's even in height with Hamer. He has an arm length disadvantage of a half-inch measured from the armpit to the end of the fist, and you can see that Ruiz, who weighed nearly 300 for his first pro fight, is down to 257 3/4 tonight against Hamer, who will appear to you as a well-sculpted 220 and will look like the more natural athlete in the ring, because Andy Ruiz has some flab on him and does not look as a sculpted fighter the way a lot of heavyweights do. There's Tor Hamer, lives in New York City. Son of parents who were educated at Harvard and Villanova. Very academically credentialed family. He himself, a graduate of Penn State University, had some moments as an amateur, National Golden Gloves champion, but has had a couple of losses as a pro, which seemed to call a halt to the notion that he could be a serious contender in the heavyweight division. Ruiz is the story here. Top Rank, the promoter, has great hope that he can become a money-making star and perhaps a threat to rise to the top of the heavyweight division. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Venetian Macau, we move from the flyweights to the big boys of the heavyweight division. And it's all brought to you courtesy of Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated, along with MP Promotions, sponsored by Tecate Con Caracter and the motion picture Grudge Match. Two legends, Stallone and De Niro, the ultimate rivalry. Grudgment Day is coming from Warner Brothers Pictures, a new comedy, Grudge Match, in theaters everywhere Christmas Day. And Smart Communications, the Philippines' leading wireless provider. This contest, again, sanctioned by the CPBO, the NABF, and the WBO. At ringside, the three judges scoring the bout will be Sullivan Lagumbe, Michael Pernick, and Danrex Taptasan. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, referee Lawrence Cole. And now, 10 rounds of action. This is in the heavyweight division. On the line, the NABF, that's a vacant title, and the WBO International Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue trimmed with white, official weight 220 pounds even. As a professional, an excellent record, 21 victories, including 14 knockouts, only 2 defeats from the Big Apple. New York City, New York, USA. He is Tor, the Hammer of Thor Hamer. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue with silver, official weight 257 3/4 pounds. His record, a perfect one, 20 fights, 20 victories, including 14 knockouts, from Mexicali, Mexico, the WBO International Heavyweight Champion, Andy the Destroyer Ruiz Jr.
Let's go, Andy. There we go. All right, bring it in. All right, gentlemen, I know the rules only in the dressing room. I want you to obey my commands. Protect yourselves at all times, understood? Touch them up, good luck.
If you haven't seen Andy Ruiz fight, don't let the looks fool you. He's short and fat, there's no way around it, but he is a special fighter for a heavyweight, and probably the best, most skillful American heavyweight to come along since when? Chris Bird?
And I was just about to say, I hope Tor Hammer, however you say it, is not underestimating or judging a book by the cover, because Andy Ruiz Jr. is something spectacular.
You open that up, it's a novel.
Tor's issued some quotes that indicate that he understands who Ruiz is and what he's in against. Public doesn't know, Roy, how big a fan you are of Andy Ruiz. What is it you like about him?
I haven't seen many heavyweights of his stature that could put punches together, knows how to attack, knows how to counter. You know, heavyweights nowadays are not really good fundamental boxers. This kid is a basic fundamentalist, a real fundamentalist. Just hurt Tor right there with the overhand right. But this kid has fundamentals. He goes up and down. He has a great trainer in his background. He's just a good guy, man. He really impresses me as a heavyweight.
They traded right-hand shots, and Ruiz walked right through Hamer's right hand, and as you say, hurt Hamer with his own.
I'm surprised at how easily Hamer's hit him so far, to tell you the truth.
Well, I am too, because he does usually show defense, but the way Hamer was staring at him probably got him a little bit hot, and he's probably out trying to gain respect early.
And Hamer's not as natural a fighter as Ruiz, but he was a Golden Gloves champion, national Golden Gloves champion.
Exactly. This is a bit of a step-up fight for Ruiz. There's nobody on his past dossier of opponents that sticks out in the same way that Tor Hamer does, so he can prove something if he can get through Hamer tonight in impressive fashion.
Oh.
Hard right hand by Hamer.
Oh.
Landed right on the chin.
Yeah, Hamer might have hurt Ruiz with that one.
Yep. He has not found Ruiz a difficult target upstairs, which is a little surprising.
Now, that was a big right hand by Hamer.
Obviously, Ruiz is a big target downstairs, but he moves his head pretty well.
But he hasn't in this fight.
Nope.
His head has been still, as he's been trying to land thunder early and has paid a little bit of a price for it in allowing himself to be hit by Hamer.
Yeah, he got caught with that right hand again.
Come back. Box.
And you wonder if this might be a little bit of anxiousness on the part of Andy Ruiz, who hasn't quite settled into his customary rhythm yet, even though he landed one huge right hand early on.
Well, like you say, Jim, I think he realizes that he's stepping up in competition here, so he has to take his time and be a little bit more careful of the way he attacks Tamer.
Yeah, I think that's the point. This is a step up for Andy Ruiz. We like what we've seen so far against C-level opposition, and now he's fighting a level above that.
Some fans in America who remember the quiet in Tokyo in 1990 when James Buster Douglas took out Mike Tyson may wonder if here in Macau, China, it's exactly the same way. And the answer is no. This is a livelier crowd. They're responding more naturally and readily to what they see. They're not as noisy or as loud as a spirited American boxing crowd watching a great fight, but they're definitely not sitting on their hands the way the Japanese did back in 1990 when we were there.
Water. How you feel? Talk to me. Good round. I think we got that one. Good round. I need more jabs, though. All right? And don't walk into stuff. All right? Because he's setting you up for the right hand. So, hey, down and up. Down and up with your jab, okay? Good hooks. That right hand to the body's working, isn't it? Okay, so it's bringing under, over, and back over the top. Under, over.
Don't head on him. And move your head. Round 2. Stay with your plan. 3 and 4 punches and get down in this motherfucker's belly.
Here you see Tor Hamer do something nobody's been able to do. Land a beautiful right hand right on the chin of Andy Ruiz Jr. And this is something that I don't see happen too often with him. But once again, this step up in class shows you that guys bring a different arsenal to the game. Straight right hand, right on the eye this time, a little bit higher than the last one. But Tor Hamer has been able to do something that I've never seen none of those other guys do to Andy Ruiz.
And by CompuBox count, Hamer was the more accurate puncher in the first round, landing 19 out of 45 to 18 out of 58 for Andy Ruiz.
Part of its mentality, Hamer is showing up to win. So not only does he have an amateur background, but some physical advantages, but he doesn't come into the ring already defeated.
The instructions between rounds in Tor Hamer's corner were delivered by Sean Razor, who has been his trainer through his amateur and professional career. And in Andy Ruiz's corner, it was Jeff Germosha, who was giving him some feedback on how to better handle Tor Hamer. Good jab by Ruiz. Good left hook by Tor Hamer.
Part of it too, Ruiz is a small or a short heavyweight, but he doesn't fight like a short heavyweight. He fights just like a kind of traditional boxing skills. He's not bobbing and weaving and trying to get under, and getting in his opponent's chest. He's just boxing him, and I think that he's paid a little bit for that in this fight.
Yeah, what you see though from what his corner is saying is that they want him to push the issue a little bit and try to wear Hamer down a little bit.
Hard right hand by Ruiz. Ooh. Hamer keeps throwing, but that was a clean shot.
Both of them are landing some vicious shots in here.
Because of the body style, it's inevitable that Ruiz will be compared among boxing fans to Buster Mathis. No punch. But to me, the big difference is he's a bigger hitter than Mathis ever was.
Bigger hitter, and to me, he's much more skillful than Mathis was. Mathis wasn't a bad guy, but...
Senior or junior are we talking about
We're
now?
talking about senior here.
Yeah.
We're talking about the far more accomplished of the two Buster Mathis.
Junior wasn't bad either, but...
No, Junior wasn't bad.
Mathis Senior fought some pretty good guys. And Randy Ruiz is getting taking some hard shots.
That was another good right hand by Tor Hamer, and he landed a left hook behind it as well.
If I was in Tor Hamer's corner, I'd tell him do not get close to Andy Ruiz. You're doing so much better with that straight right hand from a distance.
Whatever happens here, there's going to be a reevaluation of Ruiz after this because he is being hit so easily by Tor Hamer in these first 2 rounds. And hard shots.
And that long right hand, and we know that's what Klitschko is known for.
Vladimir Klitschko.
Yes.
He seems, Ruiz, though, very comfortable exchanging those kind of shots like it's no big thing. We'll see.
Well, he is Mexican.
Moments ago, Zhou Shiming finally made it back to the locker room, and here's a look at how elated Zhou was with his 3rd professional victory, performing in front of a Chinese audience, or a largely Chinese audience, dominating an outclassed opponent, but nevertheless, it's still a big thrill for him in the early stage of his professional career.
Be patient, and when you're in the clinches, what the fuck? Break it.
Here you see Tor Hamer land a good lead left hook followed by a straight right hand, both high on the head, but punches that are landing from the outside when he has the better distance. From that range, he's a much better puncher than when he's close.
The geometry of the fight has so far favored Hamer. Power shots in round 2. Ruiz landed 12 of 38. That's all right. But Hamer was 18 out of 35, landing more than half his power shots. Once again, underlining exactly what Max said. There'll be a reevaluation because Ruiz has been easier to hit here than those who have so much enthusiasm about him might have suspected.
Including Roy and me, I think.
Exactly.
Hamer, you know, is a prospect in his own right, or was until not too long ago, but is here as an opponent. Someone forgot to tell him. You know,
hard
it's a
right
test
hand
for
by
Ruiz.
Hamer again.
It's a step up for Ruiz, but it's not a fight that Ruiz is supposed to lose. He's supposed to win and look good and be tested somewhat. I think he's already been tested more maybe than anticipated.
A whole lot more.
These first 3 rounds look really good for Tor Hamer. But if there's one failing which has marked his career, it's a stamina problem. That's something about which he has to worry as he builds a lead in the early rounds.
And I think that's going to be his big issue here tonight, Jim, is the stamina part. As you see, Ruiz is very smart, going to the body on a guy because he realizes the guy's starting to tire a little bit.
Yeah, there's a sense that Hamer's a bit of a front runner, even if he gets off to a fast start. And Ruiz is just keeping that steady pressure on him.
As we saw that last right hand that Tamer just throwed had nothing on it.
Against a fighter named Vyacheslav Glaskov at the end of 2012 in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Hamer had a sensational first 2 rounds, got off to a big lead. By the end of the 4th round, he was done. Stayed on his stool and didn't come out for the 5th.
Still, in the heavyweight division, you're taking a risk. These are big guys swapping big punches. And the thought that, well, you can survive some early rounds, rough stuff, and break a guy later in the fight, boy, it's a risk getting out of those early rounds, these big guys throwing punches.
But Ruiz is starting to take over a little bit here in the 3rd round.
Take over a lot.
And those up and down combinations that I was talking about that we don't see many heavyweights throw.
And Hamer is now much more on the defensive than was the case in the first couple of rounds, as Ruiz is starting to land combinations.
And look at the quick hands for the heavyweight by the bigger Ruiz.
So suddenly here in round 3, Ruiz is a rising tide and Hamer is a sinking ship.
The Hamer's about done. Body shot just took it all out of him. There's no more fight really left in him, I don't think.
Fascinating how quickly it turned.
Yes.
Step back.
Hamer walks back to his corner with his head down, his hands down, breathing from his mouth. Meanwhile,
the wrapping of Brandon Rios' hands by Robert Garcia, while Freddie Roach, no friend of Garcia's at this point, watches from close range. There is tension between the two camps now, after a very friendly publicity tour, which made it appear as though Pacquiao and Rios were getting to be buddies. They aren't anymore after what happened this week.
I said when you're through punching, what are you doing? What are you going to do when you're through? That's it. All right, good round.
I'm not sure that Tor Hamer's coming out for the fourth round. He's not.
Bring it in, Andy.
He's not. It's done. Just like that, Sean Razor and Tor Hamer made a decision in their corner that they were done. And after landing 29 out of 57 punches in the third round, Andy Ruiz has a TKO victory as Tor Hamer quits on the stool for the second time in the last year.
Because once you quit, it gets easier to quit. And when things aren't going his way, he obviously has the ability to compete physically, but mentally and emotionally, you know, he can go to that place. Ruiz comes over and tells us he was only warming up at a time when Hamer was all done.
Well, Jim said he walked slowly back to his corner. He didn't walk back, he stumbled back.
This is a look back on tape at the conversation between Tor Hamer and his trainer, Sean Razor. And at some point here, I'm told you will see him say, "I'm done." Now, this is the trainer who's been with him throughout his boxing career. It's got to be embarrassing on some level for him to say to him after the way he fought the first two rounds, "I'm finished here."
I think also the Abdusalamov situation is on everybody's mind, maybe including and especially a heavyweight boxer from the New York area who's starting to take a lot of shots in his head.
Come on, Max. Come on. This is fighting. That has no business being on your mind when you step in the ring to defend yourself.
Do you think maybe it is on his mind? Yes or no?
No, it's not on his mind. He quit last time before that happened. So because he quit last time, like you said, it's much easier for him to quit again.
Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official particulars on the TKO.
Gentlemen, here at Macau, the Venetian Macau, referee is informed that Tor Hamer is unable to continue. The official time becomes the end of 4 rounds. The winner by TKO victory. He is now the NABF champion to add to his WBO International Heavyweight Championship. Still undefeated, Andy the Destroyer Ruiz Jr.
Final CompuBox numbers will show the edge that Ruiz gained with his tremendous dominance in the third round. Ultimately, he lands 25 more punches. He throws 82 more punches. He lands at a slightly lower connect percentage. Hamer was targeting him for the first couple of rounds. Power punch numbers here, Ruiz with a slight edge. And when Andy came over to talk to Roy Jones and Max Kellerman immediately after being declared the winner, the first thing he said was, "I'm sorry." In effect saying, "I know you're disappointed in the way I fought the first couple of rounds. I'm sorry that it got started slowly. I was just warming up."
Well, you know, another thing about Hamer is, or about Ruiz is, you might say, Hamer, if he weren't a front runner or if he was emotionally stronger, boy, he could have beaten Ruiz. But, you know, that version of Hamer is a really good fighter. If Hamer were emotionally stronger and didn't quit and was a little more well-rounded in that way, he'd be potentially a top heavyweight. So
right now it appears he's a two-round fighter.
Right.
And he's shown that a second time. Macau is located about 130 miles across the sea from Hong Kong. Gambling and tourism are the main industries here, as we've seen with packed casinos day and night. Next up here, it's Russian featherweight champ Evgeny Gradovich in a rematch against Billy Dick. And then in our main event, Manny Pacquiao returning to the ring for the first time in a year against tough guy Brandon Rios. But before we move on, let's take a quick look at Warner Brothers' new comedy Grudge Match, opening on Christmas Day.
The video of your fight's going viral. You don't know what I mean by going viral. Razor, you know what YouTube is? What type of too out of touch old mother?
Hey.
Hey. I got a company that wants the official rematch. They're gonna pay you $100 grand.
Not worth
The
it.
hell you mean it ain't worth it? I'm looking at your house.
Fighters still do this? Seems like a lot of cholesterol.
I'm your trainer, Mike. You can't be my trainer. Maybe I believe you ate my trainer.
Gutsy move going without a bra.
I took a dump on your porch.
We are live right now.
Grudge match. Rated PG-13. Christmas Day.
All right, now let's have some fun. Grudgment Day is coming. Who do you think will win the long-awaited grudge match, De Niro or Stallone? Vote only if you haven't seen the screenplay, by the way. Texting D for De Niro or S for Stallone to 53548. Who do you think will win in the movie that opens on Christmas Day? And now let's take another look ahead to our main event. It's very well known that Manny Pacquiao is coming in off the potentially life-changing knockout loss to Juan Manuel Marquez. It's not as well known that Brandon Rios also comes in off a loss. This is the first of his two fights against Mike Alvarado. Took place in October of 2012. The early going, it was blistering. Alvarado was throwing 117 punches per round. But in the 7th round, Rios, throwing the hardest shots, caught Alvarado, pinned him against the ropes, and referee Pat Russell elected to step in and stop the fight. Called out for a rematch. And the rematch took place on March 30th this year in Las Vegas. And in that fight, the first few rounds were again blistering. Very reminiscent of what had happened 5 months before in Carson, California. But as the fight progressed, in the last 6 rounds, Rios continued trying to stalk and chase, but Alvarado made good on a pledge to use his feet more, box more, show more movement, create distance between himself and Rios, and Alvarado was declared the winner by unanimous decision. Nevertheless, it was Rios who earned the shot at facing Pacquiao tonight. Now let's go to the featherweight division, where Evgeny Gradovich and Billy Dibb are about to fight a rematch of a spirited fight that took place in March of this year. And in the fight, Gradovich has a half-inch height advantage. He's 1 year younger than Billy Dibb. He's got a 1-inch arm length advantage measured the armpit to the end of the fist. They both weighed in at 126, the featherweight limit, and tonight they're equal, coming into the ring at an unofficial 136 and 137 pounds. CompuBox numbers from their first fight. It was a pretty close, good fight. Billy Dibb won the first 4 rounds on all 3 scorecards, but Gradovich gradually cranked it up, threw more, landed more, ultimately gained the edge, and wound up sweeping the late rounds to win a decision, a unanimous decision, close over Billy Dibb. Now let's go to Michael Buffer in the ring for the official introductions.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the action continues here at the Venetian Macau. This is World Championship Boxing, courtesy of Top Rank Incorporated, along with MP Promotions. Sponsored by Tecate con Carácter and the motion picture Grudge Match. 2 legends, Stallone and De Niro. The ultimate rivalry, Grudgment Day, is coming from Warner Brothers Pictures, a new comedy. Grudge Match, in theaters everywhere, Christmas Day. And Smart Communications, the Philippines' leader in wireless provocation. IBF President Darryl Peoples, supervisor ringside for the IBF, Aaron Kaiser. The 3 judges scoring this bout, Chris Flores, Robin Taylor, and Glenn Trowbridge. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, referee Alan Huggins. And now this is the rematch we've been waiting for. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Featherweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black with silver, official weight 126 pounds. His professional record, 36 victories, only 2 defeats, 21 victories by knockout from Sydney, Australia. He's the challenger, former featherweight champion of the world, Billy the Kid Dibb. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black with gold, official weight 125 3/4 pounds. A perfect professional record consisting of 17 fights, 17 victories, including 8 knockouts, originally from Russia. Now living, training, and fighting out of Oxnard, California, USA, the reigning and defending IBF featherweight world champion, Evgeny El Ruso Mexicano Gradovi.
Oh, righty. Evgeny, Billy. Okay, gentlemen, you both received your instructions. Obey my command at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch them up. Let's go.
Right.
When a flashy boxer like Billy Dibb fights a constant kind of pressure fighter like Gradovic, it's not whether he does well early. It's not how he begins the fight. It's can he sustain that boxing in the face of the constant pressure through the middle and late rounds of the fight. That's what he couldn't do in the first fight, what he's going to try to do here in the rematch.
Since their first meeting up at Foxwoods in Mashantucket, Connecticut, each fighter has had a fight. Gradovic came here to Macau and wore down and outworked a good Venezuelan fighter named Mauricio Munoz. Billy Dibb fought American Mike Oliver, and in a foul-filled fight in which Dibb was warned for low blows and was on the verge of disqualification, Oliver began flopping to the canvas trying to get the DQ, but never got it, and Dibb won the majority decision.
Dibb is an Australian guy who does not mind traveling the world to get the job done. That's what you got to like about him, because he's from a place where a lot of guys just stay home. They don't bother to go venture out to take chances or take risks. But Billy Dibb will take a risk.
And indeed, taking risks has become a part of his identity, because at one point he came to the United States to fight Stephen Luevino in Atlantic City for a title, and he stank out the joint, fighting a very passive, self-protective fight, which the crowd booed. And at that point he realized, if I'm going to make any money, I need to be a way more entertaining fighter than this. And he completely reversed his style, Roy, perhaps more dramatically than any fighter I've ever seen.
And that says a lot about him and the person that he wants to be. He's a guy who doesn't mind taking risks, who's willing to change whatever he has to change to get the job done. That's what you like to see in a professional prize fighter.
When Dibb made the big style change, he left his previous trainers and moved to the Husseins. Billy Hussein and his brother Hussein Hussein, also known as Skinny Hussein. They were both hyper-aggressive fighters, and they train him now in a hyper-aggressive style.
Yes, they do. They come from a culture of a guy named Jeff Finnick, who could be who could be the definition of hyper-extensive fighting.
One of my all-time favorites. Here right now, the bad news for Dibb is that in terms of the boxing, he's not getting the better of it early. Even though Gradovic is the aggressive fighter, it doesn't mean he's not applying his technique well, though he's now cut on the left side of his head.
Yeah, the bad news for Gradovic is that he's got a cut on his skull, probably from an accidental butt. That's another feature of Dibb's aggressive style. And he's going to be dealing with blood as the fight goes on. Gradovic, they call the Mexican Russian. He got that nickname in Robert Garcia's camp in Oxnard because he arrived and showed immediately that he fights culturally the way the Mexicans do. Aggressive, come forward, nonstop.
Also good friends with a guy by the name of Ruslan Probodnikov.
Was Probodnikov's college roommate. Wound up living with Probodnikov for about 6 years. And he says, yes, we fight in the same face-first style.
Good shot by Dibb.
Right hand as Gradovic was coming in. And now let's see what they can do with the blood in Gradovic's corner.
Legs out. I'm bleeding already, yeah. Target that side, that line. We go to chest. Bill, don't pull out. We're pulling out. With chest, we're not going to pull out. We're going to roll. All right, we're going to roll. Don't pull out. Bill, he's one-dimensional. We said it. Boom, boom, boom. Roll, roll.
Okay, that's what we train for. That's what we're here for, right? Okay? You understand what I'm telling you? Yeah. Okay then. Let's use that jab, please. You gotta use more jab. Jab your way in, more head movement, body, body, body. When you hit those, just throwing straight punches. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? Not bad.
CompuBox numbers in round 1, and Gradovich had the activity edge. 12 out of 63 for Gradovich, 10 out of 36 for Dib. The cut is up in the hairline for Evgeny Gradovich, and that reverses the situation in the first fight. Early in the first fight, Billy Dib got caught on the back of the head by an elbow in an exchange, and he said that the seeping of blood on the back of his skull all night long ultimately robbed him of his energy level and helped contribute to Gradovich's victory. This time it's Gradovich who's bleeding in the hairline.
The only thing I don't like about Dib is that he picks his feet up so high when he bounces back like that right there, and it's hard for him to punch until his feet land. Therefore, there's a lot of time between his punches because of how high his feet are moving, like that jab he just threw.
You may have noticed between rounds that Robert Garcia is in the corner to handle Evgeny Gradovich in this fight, meaning that he has left his main event star fighter, Brandon Rios, in the dressing room without him to prepare for the main event against Manny Pacquiao. Earlier on the card, when Zhou Shiming fought, Freddie Roach, who trained Shiming, did not leave the dressing room, but stayed there with Manny Pacquiao while Marvin Somodio came to the corner to run things for Shiming during that fight. Roy, what do you think Brandon Rios feels about Robert Garcia leaving him alone to come to the ring?
I don't think he feels nothing at all, because what you got to look at with them is that they're a little bit closer because they're family-oriented. So therefore, Robert Garcia's father, who taught Robert how to box, is still back there with Rios. So how much better of a person could you leave back there than your own father who taught you how to fight?
And who, by the way, Freddie Roach says is the guy he's worried about in the Garcia camp, in the Rios camp, is actually the daddy.
Well, that's a not-so-subtle dig at Robert Garcia, and Roach is not a fan of Robert at this point, but it is fair to say that...
I think he's genuinely a fan of his father.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. He's a fan of Eduardo Garcia, and by the way, why wouldn't you be? He's one of the truly great statesmen in the sport.
So far, Gradovich is outboxing Dib. The guy coming forward can be the better boxer, and I think that's what's happening so far.
You see Gradovich making Dib miss over the top there.
Talk about gym culture some more. This is Robert Garcia's gym. He gets a hopeful, and through the competitive nature of the gym and the tough sparring, he becomes a better and better fighter as time goes on.
And we've talked about how the harsh conditions of living in Siberia toughened Ruslan Probodnikov in such a way that ring punishment doesn't feel the same to him as to other fighters. And Gradovich is from the same area of Siberia, just 50 miles away.
And got to experience again that wild card gym culture where through sparring with Manny Pacquiao, he went from just a rugged kind of face-first fighter to a world-class destroyer.
I want a bit more faster reaction.
Next Saturday, it's 2 light heavyweight title fights as knockout artists Adonis Stevenson and Sergey Kovalev defend their championship belts in Quebec City. And December 7, Guillermo Rigondeaux, fresh off his domination of Nonito Donaire, takes on former title holder Jose Magbeko. Also that night, James Kirkland squares off with undefeated Glenn Tapia.
Don't get desperate. He's going to beat it, Habib. He's coming to you. That's right.
Start bringing a bucket. Just spit and then we'll get the bucket. Okay, breathe. Breathe. Okay, you're in good condition. You can't back up. You got to throw more punches. You got to stay busier. Okay, you heard me?
A scenic from outside in Macau. You may have seen the statistic on our weigh-in show yesterday. It is estimated now that gambling facilities in Las Vegas take in about $9.4 billion per year in gambling revenue. Here in Macau, the total take is $38 billion, 4 times as many as are taken in Las Vegas. Talk about a cultural trait. Asians are obsessed with gambling.
finding a little bit more of a defensive rhythm here, it looks like.
Hard right hand by Gradovich there, though.
Yep.
As Dib is backing up, he can't allow Gradovich to keep getting off first, because when Gradovich gets off first, it's harder for Dib to counter because Gradovich is closing the space like you see him do right there. So when he closes space so fast, it doesn't give Dib a chance to counter because he's already too close.
I feel as though Dib needs to make his punches mean something. That even when he's having moments where he's getting a shot off like that, they don't bother Gradovich, and they're not even designed to necessarily.
Meaning that it looks like a Provodnikov fight.
Yeah, and that Dib's boxing is, you know, the moves are perfunctory. They're not. I don't know what they intend to do all the time other than avoid punches and kind of move his hands.
Let it go, Billy. Let it go.
Roy made a great point earlier about Billy Dib's will to travel and how important that is to him. Getting out of Australia, coming to America over and over, trying to make his point. It seems to me that there's a much greater urgency related to the title belt for Dib. Gradovich, fighting in the culture in which he's fighting, trained by the trainer he's trained by, promoted by Top Rank, he's going to get interesting fights whether he has this belt or not. Billy Dib needs this belt in order to be on a perch where he can get interesting fights and make real money.
Yes, he does. And that's why he needs to get off first here, because it's kind of the same scenario with the way the fight is going. Because he's allowing Gradovich to bring the fight to him, they're usually too close for him to really do what he does best, which is counter by the time he starts his attack.
10 seconds, top of the bell.
Earlier this evening, Max Kellerman visited Manny Pacquiao's dressing room to see how he's feeling.
Manny, is there a different feeling in the moments leading up to the fight right now between the incredible Manny Pacquiao that we saw, for example, against Ricky Hatton, and the Manny Pacquiao of recent years who hasn't been that guy? Is there a different feeling? Can you feel it here?
It's a different feeling. I feel excited, much excited compared to the last three fights that I have, and I'm very excited for this fight, and I'm ready.
What led to that different kind of feeling?
Because I think it's because it's been a while I didn't have a fight, and it's been 1 year I didn't fight, and also I think what happened in the Philippines, it's makes me inspired more.
You talked about that, and not only as a congressman, but as a national hero, the devastation that's happened now, and what we hear from fans who say when you lost, it's like a day of mourning. What kind of responsibility is that for you here fighting in Asia now?
It's a great responsibility. That's why I have to focus and do the best that I can.
Thank you, Manny.
Thank you.
And we go back to Evgeny Gradovich against Billy Dib. Dib in the black trunks, Gradovich in the green, white, and red trunks. The Mexican-Russian wearing Mexican colors. Harold, how do you have it so far?
Jim, I got it 3-0, 30 to 27. Evgeny Gradovich. You know, Jim, Billy Dib was always a stick and move guy. He's got a huge ring here, and really he's fighting Gradovich's fight. He's just standing still, letting Gradovich get inside on him, and letting Gradovich land the hardest shots. Look at that. Dib is right there. He just doesn't move. In the old days, he would use that whole ring. He would box, he'd move, he'd jab. Not doing any of that. And Gradovich is the stronger guy. 3-0, Gradovich.
Well, we mentioned the style change that Dib himself effected after getting booed in his loss to Stephen Luevano. Said to himself, I don't want to be seen that way again. And that's the reason that he's standing here fighting a phone booth fight in a giant ring.
Dib wants to be very much just in the mix. He wants to be involved in big fights and fight the top fighters, and he has a great personality and he's a showman in the ring. But at this moment, although he's having certain moments here in this round. I don't know that if it's a talent issue, Roy, or an issue of skills that he may not have acquired, but he doesn't look like he can quite break through at this level.
Well, one thing I got to give him credit for was he lost the first 3 rounds trying to box and move a little bit. So this round he came out and set right down chest to chest with the hard punching Granovich, and he's giving it all he got. And what he's basically saying is, since I couldn't outbox him, I guess now I change and see can I outfight him. And you have to give a guy credit for making a change like that on the fly.
Yeah, Dib is an easy guy to root for.
Yes, he is. And Granovich is a hell of a guy to stand toe-to-toe and punch with like this, too. So, but that's how bad Billy Dib really wants this title. Good hook by Granovich. 2 good hooks.
Watch your head, Billy. Watch your head. Break! Step back. Up. Step back, step back, step back. Let's go.
A low blow.
Pick it up, Billy.
Dib warned for the low blow, but landed a good left hook coming off of it.
Pick it up, okay? Pick it up.
And earlier in the evening, Max Kellerman also visited the dressing room of Brandon Rios.
Brandon, you said that you've never experienced a promotion, a build-up like this before. What are you experiencing right now at this moment?
Ready, you know, a little everything, a little butterflies, but you know that's a good sign, because if I didn't have that, then I would have been worried. But I got a little butterflies. Ready. I feel like I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
You've said that part of fighting for you, you like to obviously hit your opponent, but even there's something about when he hits you and you feel like you know you can take his punch that you enjoy. Right now, are you thinking, I've never been hit by Manny Pacquiao, I'm about to find out what that's like?
No, I don't cross my mind at all. Right now I'm thinking about going in the ring and defeating Pacquiao. I don't care whatever he brings, but my thing is going in the ring and win. That's what I'm thinking about. Win.
How do you do that?
Do what I do best. Fight the way I fight, listen to the corner, and stick with the game plan that we have going into the fight and just executing it.
Thank you, Brandon. Good luck.
Round 5 of a scheduled 12 between Evgeny Granovich and Billy Dib.
They both just landed 2 good hooks. Granovich knocked Dib's hook out, a mouthpiece out.
All right, okay. Keep it in your mouth. Come on, let's go. Next time it's going to cost you a point, okay?
It came out accidentally.
That's okay. Next time, keep it in your mouth. Next time it's going to cost you a point.
Stay low, Bill.
Next, put it in his mouth. Next time it's going to be a point, okay? Get back down.
Referee Alan Huggins of New Jersey, who's already warned Dib for low blows, telling him there that if the mouthpiece comes out again, it will cost him a point.
Let it go, Billy. Let him go, Billy.
Good uppercut by Granovich.
Dr. Roger Anderson in Granovich's corner has done a good job stopping the bleeding in his hairline. Hasn't been a factor since round 1.
Yes, he has.
It's tough watching a guy like Dib who clearly wants to do the right thing. He wants to stick to the game plan early in box. That's not working. As Roy said, he then has the courage to say, okay, let me try to win another way. And it's working better, but maybe not perfectly. But he continues to try to do the right the things even as they're not working.
Yeah, it's not working perfectly, like you said, Max, but like you said, too, he is willing to try to make a change. Most guys aren't willing to do that.
And he's marked up Gradovich's face, not just with that, I guess, butt that opened the cut in the back of the head, but with some punches in the last couple rounds, even as he's not winning the rounds.
I think it might be working perfectly if he had more power on his left hook. He's landing the left hook, but he's not doing damage with it.
Yeah, he's landing the left hook and the right hand, but just not, like you said, they're just not as powerful as we want to see them.
It must be perplexing for him. He grew up idolizing Nassim Hamed, and when Hamed would land shots like that, guys would go to sleep.
Oh, no, guys would go flying over the ropes. Guys would go under the ropes. Guys would go everywhere.
Tremendous power puncher.
Amazing power puncher.
And Dib is obviously not blessed in that same way.
Well, I mean,
very few are.
Yeah, who else? I mean, who else, you know?
Let him go,
Prince Nassim Hamed was one of a kind. He had acrobatic feet. He had an amazing ability to fire big punches from odd angles. You couldn't see it coming, and it landed like thunder.
Yeah, that's what he was, really, when you get down to it. Is a tremendous showman and just an incredible puncher.
And by the way, we're mentioning Prince Nassim, partially because Billy Dibb idolized him, and he sent Prince Nassim a letter at one point from Australia, and Nassim, to his amazement, sent a letter back and said, come see me. And Dibb made a pilgrimage all the way to England to meet Prince Nassim Hamed, and said that he literally trembled when Hamed opened the door, and Hamed said, I'm human, come on in.
Watch your heads, watch your heads, watch your heads. Watch your heads, watch your heads, both of you guys. Let's go.
Not sure the Prince would have acknowledged to us that he was human.
10 seconds, stop and go.
Mouth guard out. Good boy, mate. Head the fuck out of me, good mate. It's all right. Don't worry about that. Hey, he's not cut. He's not cut. Do not circle to his right, Bill. You're getting him with right hand because you're going outside. Remember what we were saying? That way. That way. Here, look here. Dip to your right. But he's facing you. You keep going pressure. I want you to see more. Okay, don't back up. That's when he has a chance. You got to double jab, right hand and jab again. 1, 2, 1. But you got to forward because he's backing up. Careful on the brakes, okay? Yeah.
Easy ref warned Billy Dibb about the mouthpiece coming out, but it's a good reason it's coming out. It's because of that left hook right there. I mean, gee, ref, what you want him to do? Can you hold his mouthpiece in while you take a punch like that?
Great point. Combi box numbers through 5. Gradovich 98 out of 379. Dibb 55 out of 231. So just as was the case in the second half of the first fight, but this time even more demonstrably. Gradovich is outworking Dibb, throwing more punches, landing more punches, by and large landing the harder shots. He's winning the fight. Dibb's tried 2 ways of going about it, boxing and punching early, rolling later. Neither have worked.
No, neither have worked, and mainly because he's allowing Gradovich, the brawler, to get off first. If you allow him to launch his attack first, everything you try to do is from a countering standpoint, but Gradovich closes the distance so that he doesn't allow you to have room to counter.
Fact is, when you're being outboxed by a superior brawler, as was the case for Dibb in the first few rounds, there aren't a lot of answers left.
Not many at all.
It's trouble as soon as the flashy boxer can't win a boxing match early in the fight, and the boxer doesn't have the kind of knockout power it seems needed to turn something around.
And Billy's face is getting busted up, and Gradovich's face is not.
Well, Gradovich has a few scrapes and scratches, Jim, but being from up there in Siberia, I don't think that bothers him at all.
Punch away out, punch away out. Quick, stop.
Yeah, Dibb's moral victory so far is that Gradovich will know he was in a fight when the fight's over. At least by looking at his face, he'll know.
Question, since we're in the featherweight division, is could either of these guys, and most particularly Gradovich, be a threat to some of the stars of the division?
Well, Gradovich could be a threat to anybody because of his pace. He has a very good pace. He's the type of guy that can put pressure on people, and pressure does bust pipes. However, neither one of them show enough punching power to me to totally dominate the division.
Plus, when you think about featherweight, Rigondeaux moves up. Lomachenko, Donaire.
1, 2, 3.
I think Alan Huggins was at first thinking of calling that a slip and then decided it was a knockdown. And that'll put Gradovich farther ahead, or further ahead, I should say, on the cards.
A lot of special fighters at and potentially at 126.
Dibb goes into a corner with his hands down. Not a particularly good idea.
Get off his head, Billy. Get off his head. Quick. Step off, step off, step off. Get off his head. Let's go. Let's go.
Just like Dibb, man. He hasn't conceded anything. He's still trying his best, just being outclassed at this point.
Hard right hand by Gradovich. Left hook by Gradovich. Dibb can't stop it. Well, Gradovich is just like a 126-pound freight train. He's coming.
All day long, that's all he does.
Step back, step back, step back.
You're not tired. I know you're not. Okay. From now on, it's all yours. He's tired. He's tired. He's hurt.
Don't pull out. Manny told me he's in here, Habibi. Look at me here, Bill. No, look in the mirror. Don't pull out. Manny told me he's in here when you're pulling out, Jim. Roll. Box the way you're boxing, but roll. More punches. When you're relaxing.
Here you see Gradovich land a right hand to the neck of Billy Dib. Knocked him down because he was pretty much fatigued, I think. So I don't think the punch to the chin really did it. It was more to the neck than the chin. But because of the fatigue factor, and Billy Dib, see how high that foot is off the floor? Because his feet come up so high off the floor, it makes it very difficult for him to keep his balance.
It's becoming one-sided. Power shots in round 6. Gradovich 21 of 54. Billy Dib 2 of 10. There's a growing distance competitively between the two fighters as Gradovich begins to pour it on. And you heard Robert Garcia in the corner. He's hurt, he's tired, go get it. Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim, 59-54, 5 rounds to 1, Evgeny Gradovich. You know, Jim, if you're a boxer and you got a big ring, the only thing you can do is use that ring, and Billy Dib was just not doing it. He stands right in front of Gradovich. Gradovich comes in, like you called him, a freight train, and whacks him with the right hand. I mean, he did it, you know, he knocked him down. It was a clean right hand that knocked him down. And so help me, he's going to knock him out if this keeps up. 5-1, Gradovich based on clean punching with that right hand.
Some fighters are content with staying in their hometown or their home country and building a following and making some money and being protected.
Get off of his head. Get off his
and
head, Billy.
others want to test themselves and travel the world and especially come to America and fight the best. And this is why some promoters would say, kids, stay in your hometown and try to make a little money.
Well, Dib's promoter, Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent, did stay home. He has other business to conduct.
Probably not home,
business.
but, you know.
Yeah, he's somewhere other than here, so Dib had to come here without the promoter in tow. And he said he perfectly understood that, was sympathetic because obviously 50 Cent is a very busy guy. But Gradovich is fighting with his promoter, Bob Arum of Top Rank, about 15 feet away in row 2.
Well, and Dib wanted a rematch with Gradovich. This is the fight he wanted. His promoter got it for him. Careful what you wish for.
Work your way out, work your way out. Let it go. Let it go, Billy.
Billy Dib was quoted leading up to this fight saying, if I can't beat Evgeny Gradovich, I should retire. Bet you a dime to a dollar he doesn't retire, but at this moment, it doesn't appear he can beat Evgeny Gradovich.
No, I think Evgeny Gradovich has probably gotten a little better since gaining the title too. You know, we talk about a lot of times guys get that extra confidence when they become champion. And right here we're seeing Evgeny Gradovich has changed a little since becoming champion.
I used to say that the title makes a guy 50% better.
Well, look at how Adonis Stevenson looked against Tavoris Cloud after knocking out Chad Dawson.
I think in the old days, a lot of that was not just pride, but fighters could afford to be full-time fighters, didn't need a day job, found good sparring.
December 23 begins 5 nights of HBO's Boxing's Best of 2013. If you missed it, check out our most notable fights of the year in their entirety, including one of the best you'll ever see, Timothy Bradley against Ruslan Provodnikov. Moments ago, David Beckham was in Manny Pacquiao's dressing room to exchange greetings with the great man. And if you heard a giant roar in the audience here, just between that last between round period 3 minutes ago, it was because this picture appeared on the large screen in the arena.
Talk about two global icons, huh?
Yeah, everywhere in the world they know Beckham. That's a familiar face. CompuBox numbers in round 7, and once again, it gets more one-sided. Total numbers for CompuBox in round 7. Gradovich 36 of 88. Billy Dibb 4 of 39. Now Dibb switches southpaw as we begin round 8.
Yeah,
this won't bother Gradovich. He just wants to land a straight right hand anyway.
Exactly. I think it's getting about time that Billy Dibb's corner consider getting him out of this fight, taking him back, regrouping, and starting over, because he's starting to weaken a little bit. His legs are not looking good to me. He's taking a lot of punishment from a tough puncher.
And that's what turning southpaw is about. He hasn't given up. He's searching for something. He's looking for something, but it's just not there against Gradovich. So that was a nice left hand.
Yeah, it was.
Already there's discussion, we're told. Our interpreter, Jerry Olaya, has told us that the Husseins, trainer Billy Hussein in particular, has told Dibb between rounds, if you can't turn this around and land some more punches, I'm going to have to stop the fight.
And that's a very smart thing for him to say and do.
Partially because there's a particular formula for how fighters get hurt.
Yep.
And part of it is that Gradovich doesn't have the one-punch power to put Dibb away. Therefore, Dibb is going to take shot after shot after shot, perhaps without going down. And oftentimes, that's what leads to trouble.
And you got to save Billy Dibb from himself.
Because in Dibb's corner right now, they're clapping at his bravery and his ability to survive it. But maybe they should be throwing in the towel.
Yeah, they should.
100%. This is exactly the kind of situation which can lead to future damage. Dibb is getting hit and hurt repeatedly by a guy who doesn't have the power to knock him out.
And
it's a very dangerous formula.
He's a fighter with a future. The future isn't necessarily on the elite level or as a globe-trotting star, but at some level, it looks like he could have success and provide some entertainment, you know, be a showman and beat a certain class of fighter.
Well, he could do what Anthony Mundine and Danny Green have done. Stay in Australia, don't leave Australia, make the Australian money available in the ring, fight the kinds of opponents that you have down there. Lure somebody down for a big money fight if you can. But it's a lot different business prospect than going around the world, as Billy's been doing, to chase fights like this. He doesn't want to be like Mundine and Green. He wants to be like Daniel Giel. Go to Germany and win a title from Felix Sturm. That's what he wants.
Stop.
But he's getting hurt here.
Stop pulling his head down, okay?
Don't show any tiredness here. Be a tough guy. That's it. Reach up. Come on, don't show nothing. Talk to me. Be tough. I'm here, bro. I'm here. Talk to me. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Put a knot in the back of his head.
Bill. Yes, sir. I'm with you, sir. They're looking at you like you're gone, Billy. The doctor's in you looking at you. Bill. Don't start, man. No, I care about it and I love you. Yeah, I know. One more punch, mate. It's fucking over. I'm telling you now. We're way behind. Your head's going to stay down, not up. None of this crap. We're way behind. Head to the side and pull down. Roll instead of pulling down.
Round 9 now. So 4 rounds.
Stay basic. Don't punch the same time as him. Catch him, roll, then punch.
You see Billy Dibb trying to move, but getting caught repeatedly by that same left hook. And like Max said, if Gradovich was the real puncher that we know some of the guys in the division are, that punch would have sent him to the canvas.
You heard in Dibb's corner, one more punch and it's over. Guys, it is over. It's just not technically over yet. Why wait for that next punch?
Because they want to give the fighter a fighting chance so that they don't have to explain to him why they stopped it too early. But you're right, they should stop it at this point because he's definitely out of it, and I don't think he needs to take any more of this.
We're in round 9, and if you're generous, maybe he's won 1 round. He's getting ripped repeatedly in the head by Gradovich shots. Mercifully, Gradovich has stopped going to the body in the last couple of rounds. That would hurt even more at this point.
I'm telling you, okay? Pick that up.
In the last
next time it's going to cost you a point. You understand me? Okay, get on over there. You got 5 minutes. You okay?
This is a low blow warning against Dibb.
Just let me know when you're ready. All right? You ready? Okay, come on. Time in.
So Dibb's now been warned twice for low blows and once for losing his mouthpiece. In the last 4 rounds coming into this round, Gradovich outlanded Dib 106-29. Underlining the point I've been making all along. It's gotten one-sided.
And the bad thing about it is that Dib is not a big enough puncher to really land a one-punch knockout.
Not even close. The only way he gets a knockout is to wear people down, the way Gradovich is wearing him down. And here comes Billy Hussein. It's over. Thank heaven.
Great stoppage. Great stoppage.
A gutty show by Billy Dib, too gutty. A gritty show by Evgeny Gradovich, supremely gritty. Gradovich holds on to the title belt. Mikey Garcia in the ring. Former featherweight royalty, now fighting in the 130-pound class, where he won a title belt 2 weeks ago from Rocky Martinez. And Mikey's in the ring, not just to give benediction to Dib, but to congratulate his stablemate, Evgeny Gradovich. All the Mexicans are happy for the Mexican-Russian.
All the Mexicans and all the Russians.
And they should be.
And everyone in Oxnard, I'm sure.
Here's a replay of the stoppage once again.
When you see him coming in with the head first, beating the body, up the middle with uppercut, followed by a jab and another uppercut. That uppercut was a very dangerous punch, especially for Dib to be getting hit with at this point in the fight. So I thought the corner did a great job to jump up and stop it, save him from himself, because as a prize fighter, we never know how to give up.
Michael Buffer stands by with the particulars on the TKO.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Venetian Macau, referee Alan Huggins calls a halt to the contest at 1 minute and 10 seconds of round number 9. The winner by TKO victory, still the undefeated IBF featherweight champion of the world, El Russo Mexicano, Evgeny Gradovich.
Final CompuBox numbers as Gradovich moves to 18-0 with 9 knockouts. He landed 130 more punches. He threw nearly twice as many punches. He landed at a significantly higher connect percentage. It got worse and worse as the fight went on. Power shots. And here's where the danger lay as we got to the late rounds. Gradovich was landing the right hand more or less at will. Landing 120 power shots more than did Billy Dib during the fight, and throwing nearly 400 more. Punch Zone will show you where the punches landed, and the punches that landed on Gradovich were few and far between. 51 to the head as opposed to the 181 punches to the head that Billy Dib absorbed through the course of the fight. We talked about Gradovich's right hand. See that number 95 up by the left ear? That shows you the accuracy of Evgeny Gradovich's right hand. We're live from Macau, which is about an hour by ferry from the mainland. You cross the South China Sea and are met by an expanse of casinos here on the Pearl River Delta. Up next is our main event, Manny Pacquiao against Brandon Rios. A lot at stake for both men, but probably more eyes are on Pacquiao to see how he rebounds from his knockout loss to Juan Manuel Marquez a year ago. But before the fight, let's take another look at Warner Brothers' new comedy, Grudge Match, opening on Christmas Day.
The video of your fight's going viral. You don't know what I mean by going viral. Crazy, you know what YouTube is? What type of 2 out-of-touch old mother?
Hey.
I got a company that wants the official rematch. They're gonna pay you $100 grand.
Not worth it.
The hell you mean it ain't worth it? I'm looking at your house.
Fighters still do this? Seems like a lot of cholesterol.
I'm your trainer, Mike. You can't be my trainer. Maybe I believe you ate my trainer.
Gutsy move going without a bra.
I took a dump on your porch.
We are live right now.
Grudge Match. Rated PG-13. Christmas Day.
Grudgement Day is coming. We asked you earlier, who do you think will win the long-awaited grudge match, De Niro or Stallone? If you don't have a copy of the script,
Results are now on your screen. 58% of our viewers voting for Sly to beat Bob in the fight. Okay, let's take one more look at what's ahead in the coming weeks for HBO Boxing. Next Saturday, 2 light heavyweight title fights. Adonis Stevenson attempts to continue his knockout streak against Tony Bellew, and Sergey Kovalev matches up with Ismail Salak. December 7, 122-pound champ Guillermo Rigondeaux faces off with Joseph Agbeko. Also that night, James Kirkland takes on Glenn Tapia. December 21, it's the year-end edition of The Fight Game. Join me for a look back at the best and the most significant distinctions of 2013, along with a report on boxing's continuing Cold War. And beginning December 23, it's 5 nights of HBO's best fights from 2013. Among the standouts, Bradley Provodnikov and Rios Alvarado 2. For our full schedule, visit HBO.com and our Facebook page. Pacquiao vs. Rios is being brought to you by Cerveza Tecate, Con Carácter. 2 legends, the ultimate rivalry. Grudgment Day is coming. Brought to you by Warner Brothers, it's the new comedy Grudge Match in theaters Christmas Day. And by HBO Pay-Per-View, the best in pay-per-view entertainment, brought to you by HBO. So which celebrities made the long trip to Macau to see the fight? Well, Miguel Cotto is here as he susses out what he wants to do with his career next. Some major possibilities facing Cotto, who is at this moment a promotional free agent. Ruslan Provodnikov is here, and as we mentioned, he is seen as a possible future opponent for whoever is the winner of the fight, or maybe even the loser, whether it's Pacquiao or Rios. And you saw David Beckham earlier from the same Gossip magazine class of celebrity star. There's Paris Hilton. Main event arrives right on schedule, and now let's get ready for it as we talk to our 2 experts about what's going to happen next. Roy Jones, you first, the mechanics of the boxing match. What is the best chance for Pacquiao to win? What is the best chance for Rios to win?
The best chance for Pacquiao to win is to come out and do like Mike Alvarado did in their second fight. Go out, punch, 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 move left, move right. Make Brandon continue to turn, because he's a straight-ahead guy who wants to stand right there and bang with you. The way you negate that is don't allow him to stand there and bang. Make him move those feet.
All right, what about Rios' best
For
chance?
Rios has to turn it into a real bad fight, a grudge match in a sense. Make it ugly, bang low, hit with the heads, stay with the head and the chest. Make it an ugly night for Pacquiao. That's Rios' only chance to win this fight.
Beautiful, subtle promo for grudge match. I think you're coming to the premiere in New York. Now let's turn to Max Kellerman for the institutional view. And Max, with all due respect to Brandon Rios, this is about Manny Pacquiao and his great storied career. What happens if Pacquiao wins impressively, as the promoter certainly hopes and expects? What happens if he loses?
Well, so much of boxing is matchmaking. When Pacquiao blitzed Oscar De La Hoya and Ricky Hatton in what turns out was essentially the end of both of their careers, he looked like one of the greatest fighters who ever lived on a short list. And we started all imagining a fight between him and Floyd Mayweather, another of the greatest pure boxers who ever lived. If Pacquiao blitzes Brandon Rios, whose style, after all, is to show up and fight, and the idea is to potentially make Pacquiao look spectacular, expect to hear that chatter again, that buzz again. Mayweather-Pacquiao. If Pacquiao loses, at least among the fans, if Pacquiao loses, and particularly if he's knocked out again, his days as the A-side of major pay-per-view events is over.
Let me surprise you with one more question here. The institutional picture also involves this notion that China can be opened up as a market for boxing, and that the increasing globalization of boxing will ultimately lead here because of the gambling, the money, and the 1.4 billion people in China. What are the early returns based on what you've seen and felt this week?
Well, in the absence of a dynamic Chinese fighter, I think that Pacquiao has been embraced as a kind of an Asian hero. And from talking to people in Macau, and from reading and listening to what people are writing and saying, it seems that the Asian world takes a lot of pride in Pacquiao, though I doubt it would be the same as if Manny Pacquiao himself was actually Chinese, for example, as Zhou Shiming is. though Shiming is not the kind of dynamic fighter Pacquiao is.
All right, let's go up to the ring where Michael Buffer will start the festivities in this special event.
Madrid, David Beckham.
Jim, you're on the wrong heads.
Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, don't miss the greatest rock and roll band in history, the Rolling Stones, live here at the Cotai Arena. Look for them in the future here at the Venetian. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd like to honor the two fighters in the main event with their respective national anthems. And here to perform both anthems, international recording artist and recording sensation from American Idol. Please welcome Miss Jessica Sanchez.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Philippine national anthem.
Bayang magiliw, pelas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy, sa langit mong bughaw, may dilang ang tula at awat sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagninigning. Ang bituin at taraw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng ala ng luhat ipagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pagmarmang api ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Jessica Sanchez.
Well, it's a sellout crowd of 13,101 people. It's finally time for our main event. Manny Pacquiao versus Brandon Rios. For a decade, Manny Pacquiao has been the preeminent worldwide attraction in boxing. But on December 8, 2012, the greatest threat to Pacquiao's reign appeared when he was knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez. So what does Pacquiao have left? And how much can he bring to his career at this point? To seek those answers, who better than Brandon Rios? A profane, straight-ahead force of nature. If Pacquiao isn't ready, Rios is. If Pacquiao's back to his former self, then the self-assured American could be in for a long night. 37 miles southwest of Hong Kong, rising out of the South China Sea, you'll find the peninsula of Macau, a former Portuguese colony turned gaming mecca. Tonight, inside the spectacular Venetian Macau, the world's largest casino plays host to a crossroads clash.
Oh! And that's another knockdown. He's not getting up, Jim. He's not getting up, Jim. No, he's been knocked out.
And we have to ask, will Manny Pacquiao ever be seen in the ring again?
Redemption. The act of regaining what was once lost.
We thought Manny Pacquiao was great. He's better than we thought.
Aspiration. The hope or ambition to achieve something remarkable.
Another right hand, rocks Alvarado.
Coming off shocking back-to-back losses, once seemingly indomitable Manny Pacquiao is aiming to restore his legacy.
The hungriness and killer instinct is always there.
His challenger, former champion Brandon Bam Bam Rios, a young, hungry upstart.
In the ring, yeah, I hate this motherfucker that I'm fighting. I want to beat the shit out of him.
I know you fucking love this. Let's go.
They square off on the western side of the Pearl River Delta, on the majestic Cotai Strip. A global icon.
They think that my boxing career is over, and I tell you this is not done yet.
A fearless renegade.
One Mexican knocked him out. This Mexican American is going to retire Pacquiao.
The search for redemption collides with the hunger of ambition. Manny Pacquiao versus Brandon Rios, live from the Venetian in Macau, China, is next. Tail of the tape now for Manny Pacquiao against Brandon Rios. They're fighting in the welterweight division. Pacquiao gives up 7 years in age to the younger Rios. He also gives up 1.5 inches in height. There's an arm length equality measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. Pacquiao still comes up to the welterweight weight. You know, he never yet has gotten to the point where he needs to sweat down to make 147. Yesterday he weighed 145. Brandon Rios was a half pound under the limit. He sweated down even though he was fighting in the welterweight division for the very first time. And tonight, unofficially, Rios will come into the ring with a 9-pound working advantage against Pacquiao. And a look at the youth versus experience element of this, the difference in their careers to this point. Brandon Rios began his career 9 years later than Pacquiao. He's had 28 fewer fights, 199 fewer rounds in the ring, meaning 597 fewer minutes in the ring, meaning nearly 10 hours less of actual boxing combat. Max Kellerman, show us the welterweight division.
Well, there's the #1 guy in the sport, also obviously in the division, Floyd Mayweather. Pacquiao tries to get back to that level tonight, at least start the process. Tim Bradley and Ruslan Provodnikov, what a great fight they had, and how, you know, they've really shown a lot since that fight. When you look back at that fight, you realize the quality of both fighters. Marquez still around, Bronner got a belt and still on the rise, and Devin Alexander also with a belt.
And now here comes Brandon Rios, and you saw that graphic, the difference in ring wear to this point. Pacquiao having spent nearly 10 more hours in the ring in combat than Brandon Rios. If ever that's going to be a factor, maybe it's tonight against Rios's rugged, no-holds-barred style. But on the other hand, there's a tremendously widespread expectation that Rios is simply too straightforward, too lacking in subtlety, too unsophisticated to deal with what he's going to be facing in Manny Pacquiao's great skill package.
And he's never been on this stage before.
The one thing you got to look at for Brandon Rios, though, is that Pacquiao has, to me, 4 legitimate losses. 3 of those losses were by knockout.
And you've been talking all along, Roy, about wanting to see what kind of a fight plan Robert Garcia would develop for Rios, as if there's something else he can do other than going straight forward and trying to search and destroy. What is it you're curious about?
Well, I'm curious to see how much cutting the ring off would they allow him to do, and how much would they use the jab. The jab is the thing that negates the speed factor that Pacquiao has, because Pacquiao is clearly the faster guy. The jab would take that away. The second thing is cutting the ring off. If Brandon can cut the ring off on Pacquiao, then he can allow himself to get into the fight. Because if he cuts the ring off, he can use his big heart and his power punches on the inside to make it a fight.
Rios is still backstage. He has not yet emerged into the arena. The crowd is waiting to see one of the fighters come through the tunnel and into the fighting area.
Before the Alvarado fight, Rios was perceived in many ways the way Provodnikov is now perceived, as a guy who's so rugged and tough that he can overcome a kind of crude boxing style. The Alvarado fight has many forgetting that perception of Rios, but he could get that back quickly tonight against Pacquiao.
Rios lost the second fight to Alvarado. Some people expected that meant that Alvarado would get the shot at Pacquiao instead of Rios. Alvarado came out of the fight with a finger injury, and Top Rank, the promoter, has made very clear that they felt Alvarado didn't do the right job of going to the doctor and making sure that the finger would be rehabilitated. Alvarado was told that was the reason why Rios was chosen to fight Pacquiao instead of him. Some people believe there was a different reason, which was that Alvarado moved and boxed in the second fight against Rios, and that they felt that this style, coming straight forward, dispensing with boxing, no holds barred, would be the easier style against which for Pacquiao to look good.
Rios is there to be hit, but he can also really hit. And he has good short punches, fight-ending punches that he can throw and land on the inside if he can make the fight an inside kind of fight.
Trained by 2012 Trainer of the Year, Robert Garcia. Pacquiao's trainer, Freddie Roach, has won that Trainer of the Year distinction 4 separate times. And while Rios and Pacquiao have seemed very friendly and accommodating with each other in the build-up to the fight, Roach and Garcia have been increasingly fractious. So now Brandon Rios is in the ring. And as we get ready for Manny Pacquiao, we acknowledge that there's been tremendous focus for the last year on Pacquiao's knockout loss to Juan Manuel Marquez and on the recent stages of his career, including the disputed loss to Timothy Bradley. But doesn't everybody remember the amazing rise of this astonishing fighter?
He's going to step into the ring. That's a good decision. A superstar emerges in San Antonio. Manny Pacquiao is a storm. Juan Manuel Marquez hasn't ever seen anything like that.
Who has?
Fire against fire. Down the stretch. Pacquiao's left, Marquez's right. Punch after punch after punch. Manny wants to finish Morales right here. And the brave heart of Morales holds up, but his legs go again.
Manny Pacquiao is annihilating Oscar De La Hoya, and De La Hoya has zero answers for the Pacquiao assault. And will Hatton make it up from this?
Can he beat the count?
Is that it? And Kenny Barrow says, no way, that is that. What an amazing knockout shot. That is the most spectacular one-punch shot of Manny Pacquiao's incredible career.
Too fast, too powerful, too good.
We thought Manny Pacquiao was great. He's better than we thought.
But the TKO over Cotto was 4 years ago. And though it was followed by a series of 4 consecutive wins, they all went the distance. Then the disputed loss to Bradley, then the knockout loss to Marquez, and that's why his career is seen to be at a crossroads tonight.
The coinciding of age and matchmaking, where he stopped fighting fighters at the very end of their careers or guys who showed up to fight and win and brawl. Guys like Josh Clottey, good fighters, but were in to survive and basically defensive. Big fighters like Margarito. Fighters who are in survival mode because of their age, like Shane Mosley. And then finally, a top fighter in his prime like Bradley and a great old fighter like Marquez. Had as much to do with that, I think, as Pacquiao's age. But the question tonight is, having been put to sleep against Marquez, how will Pacquiao react when he's hit by a good, strong puncher? Because that's what Brandon Rios is.
How will he react, Roy?
I don't think he have a problem at all. What we fail to realize is that he was knocked out in the 12th fight and the 28th fight, and he still rose to be the great Manny Pacquiao. So he's dealt with this before, and he'll deal with it again.
Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cotai Arena here at the Venetian Macau. This is the main event brought to you by Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated and MP Promotions. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO International Welterweight Championship. Sponsored by Tecate con Carácter and the motion picture Grudge Match. 2 legends, Stallone and De Niro, the ultimate rivalry. Grudge Match Day is coming from Warner Brothers Pictures, a new comedy. Grudge Match in theaters everywhere, Christmas Day. And Smart Communications, the Philippines' leading wireless provider. This bout sanctioned by the Chinese Professional Boxing Organization and the World Boxing Organization. WBO President Francisco Paco Barcarcel, supervisor for the WBO, Leon Panaccio. The 3 judges scoring the contest at ringside, Lisa Giampa, Manfred Kuchla, and Michael Pernick. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, World Championship veteran referee, Gennaro Gino Rodriguez. And now, the officials are ready. The fighters are ready. So for the thousands in attendance and the hundreds of millions watching around the world from the Venetian Macau, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner, with head trainer, former world champion Robert Garcia. Wearing green with white and red. Official weight, 146 1/2 pounds. His professional record, outstanding at 31 victories, including 22 knockouts, only 1 defeat with 1 draw. From Oxnard, California, USA, the former lightweight champion of the world, Brandon Bam Bam Rios. And fighting out of the red corner with Hall of Fame trainer Freddie Roach, wearing royal blue and officially weighing 145 pounds. His professional record, Hall of Fame credentials, 54 victories, including 38 knockouts, 5 defeats with 2 even. From Sarangani Province, the fighting pride of the Philippines, 8-time world champion, Manny Pacquiao!
So much for the notion of the passive Asian sports crowd.
Okay, gentlemen, this is for the WBO international title. You got your instruction. I want you to obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Good luck and God bless you both.
Everyone's expecting a dust-up. When the dust settles, do we have the end or the rebirth of an era?
All right, get back in there. Good. Good.
Round one begins. Sellout crowd of 13,101, jacked up and into it as the combat gets underway in the ring.
And right away you see Brandon come out using that jab, which is part of what you wanted to see earlier. Was he coming out to just go out and beat Brandon Rios, or was he coming out to win? Showing that jab is showing the same discipline that he showed throughout his training camp this time. So you know he's coming to give it his all.
Left hand shot to the body. Manny Pacquiao has worked with tremendous discipline and dedication in his training camp, his 12-week training camp, polishing the straight left hand to the body, which he and Freddie Roach believe will be the key to victory in this fight.
Rios is trying to adjust to Pacquiao's speed here early, and maybe the butterflies he's feeling being in a fight of this magnitude for the first time in his career.
And Pacquiao's already landed a couple of combinations. Blocked Rios' right hand with his left glove.
I can promise you one thing, the butterflies are not bothering Rios, but he does have to figure out how to adjust to his speed. It's something that he's never seen before.
Particularly Pacquiao's foot speed. He's able to get that right foot on the outside of Rios' left foot pretty much at will so far, giving Pacquiao better punching angles.
Pacquiao's jab and his left hand are landing early. Rios working his own jab as Roy Jones suggested he should. That punch was right on the belt line. Rios goes down. Gino Rodriguez says it was a slip. Asian crowd responds at first as though it was a knockdown. Pacquiao landing the left hand more or less at will in the early going.
A double left hand, Jim. Very impressive punch.
Rios got in a clean shot to the left side of Pacquiao's edge.
That was some good work by Rios there with only one hand free. He used it, worked it, and landed some punches.
Yes, he did. A good uppercut landed at the end of that exchange, too.
Now there goes the Pacquiao left hand right down the pipe again. Rios is getting a little better at blocking the shot, but Pacquiao still too fast for Rios to see everything that's coming.
Oh, good left hand by Pacquiao.
Tremendous left hand lead by Manny Pacquiao. Body shot again. Oh. Round one belonged to Manny Pacquiao.
Just pick your body up, okay? Okay? Okay. Wait. Watch. Don't pull back and step up. No. Because that's where he's dangerous, right? Don't step back, pulling your body up. Stay low, stay low. Bend your knees. Give me a few more rounds like this, all right?
Little shuffle. Yung speed mo, yung bilis mo. Yeah. Yung bilis mo, hindi niya kaya kunin. Kaya kukunin natin siya sa bilis ngayon. At saka side-side. Don't say in pocket too long. In and out, quick. Ayaw
You see Pacquiao not really landing nothing in the counting area. He threw a jab that landed on the shoulder or left outside the back. And that's what Rios went down from, which is not a knockdown because that's not a scoring area where the punch landed at. Later in the round, go ahead.
Later in the round, he landed some straight left hands.
Yes, he did.
CompuBox numbers in round one. Pacquiao 20 of 54, Rios 5 of 32.
Both corners want this fight to remain as is. In Pacquiao's corner, Freddie Roach told him in and out, in and out. Rios Garcia said, I want a few more rounds like that one. Stay low. I guess he means don't take too many chances early. Pressure fighters traditionally take a few rounds to get going, and Rios is a pressure fighter.
Not only that, after a few rounds, when Pacquiao slows down a little bit, the speed becomes much closer. The conversation ain't so far. Pacquiao's not 20 miles per hour faster after round 4. He's now maybe only 4 or 5 miles per hour faster.
Rios imposing his size a little more in this round so far.
Rios has gotten a couple of clean body shots in this round, and those body shots are clearly part of the plan to try to wear Pacquiao down. Rios is the larger man. He outweighs Pacquiao unofficially by 9 pounds coming into the ring. He's an 1.5 inches taller. He's much more of a natural welterweight than is Manny Pacquiao.
The good thing about what else Rios is doing is that he's not chasing him carelessly like we usually see him do, like with a Mike Alvarado. He's chasing him very cautiously, knowing that Pacquiao can land a shot that could end the fight at any time.
And by the way, we've been talking about Rios' necessary adjustment to Pacquiao's speed. It's also worth noting he hasn't fought a southpaw since he was 19 years old, 8 years ago.
But he's doing that, you know, he's doing some business in this round. And if you think about the Margarito fight, where Pacquiao really beat Margarito up from the same gym as Garcia, as Rios. This is a younger and closer to his prime version of that kind of fighter, if not a little smaller.
And what else has to be noted, which I know a guy like Robert Garcia knows, is that Margarito hurt Pacquiao very bad to the body in that fight.
And Rios is more skillful, I think, than Margarito.
Pacquiao's doing some body work there with the right hand, setting up those shots upstairs. There have been some tremendous combinations by Pacquiao in the last 20 or 30 seconds. Freddie Rhodes insisted that the 12-week training camp in the Philippines was Manny's best camp in years, despite the painful distraction of the tsunami which hit while Pacquiao was there ensconced in his camp.
Pacquiao saying, come on, bring some more, but when Rios brought some more, it looked like it had an effect on him.
Absolutely.
Well, Pacquiao is much lighter than Rios right now. He's the smaller guy, so why is he standing right in front of Brandon? I don't know.
Well, maybe because Freddie Rhodes told him he needs an early knockout, and he wants to get an early knockout.
Well, last time he told him he needed a knockout, you saw what happened.
Hey, John, relax.
Relax lang. Okay lang? Okay lang? Okay, good.
That was beautiful. Okay? Now, don't get in the fight yet. Let's keep boxing this guy, okay?
Hindi na to sa Tagalog lugar na makaaway sa imuha. Ang imuha ni diktahan mo siya tak hawa. Mo na gusto ni coach, ha?
You hit the ropes out or now.
Out.
He's too slow.
Pinakamahaba natin sa lubid.
He see Pacquiao land the pot shot, straight left hand lead. This is what happens when a guy is much faster than his opponent. You steal him while he's throwing a jab with a straight left, and you roll out to the left, to the right side. Perfect move by Manny Pacquiao.
Jinky Pacquiao at ringside after the loss to Marquez. Jinky supposedly asked Manny, would he retire from the ring? He said no to her, said no to his mother, said his career was going to continue, and it does. Power shots through 2 rounds. Pacquiao 42 of 83, 18 of 43 for Brandon Rios.
A hush just came over the crowd.
Maybe they understand that Rios isn't going to go away so easily. A stubborn fighter who's slowly, gradually building a little bit of tempo here, even while Pacquiao bats him around with his straight, clean punches.
No question Pacquiao's winning the fight, but Rios has made improvements as the fight's worn on, little by little, and remains dangerous, at least looking.
As long as Rios is in there on 2 feet, he's dangerous.
Now Pacquiao's moving more, Roy Jones. No longer seems quite as interested in standing in front of Brandon Rios as was the case in the first round.
Yeah, but he's not moving like I want to see him move, Jim. Like right there, he's still staying too close. Eventually, if he stays that close, Rios will land something big. That's what kind of move you want to see right there. Punch and get around Rios. That right there. That's what you want to see Pacquiao doing.
Manny Pacquiao's at his best. He never backs straight up. He comes out at angles. He comes in at angles. He has amazing feet and the ability to step to where he wants to go when he's at his best. And he's using those feet much more actively in this round than in the first two.
Doing like Freddie told him not to engage in a battle yet. Use his feet, step around and box the guy until he wear him down a little bit more. Then you can battle with him.
There, Rios used his jab, as you said he should, Roy, and it had a good effect.
Pacquiao almost got trapped in a corner. That's Rios' office. That's where he can go to work.
That's where he does his business.
Good hook by Rios. And the best example I can tell you about the jab slowing a guy down is when Miguel Cotto fought Shane Mosley. He used his jab to neutralize Shane Mosley's speed.
Rios got in a couple of good, clean shots. Pacquiao felt the need to answer back, stood his ground, and fired away.
They're trading heavy leather this round.
There's a little mark under Brandon Rios' right eye.
This is what Rios wants.
Yeah, this is a Rios-style fight suddenly. At least it was for moments there.
But for much of the round, Pacquiao's been moving and picking his shots. Like that. Now Rios gets a chance to try to trap him again. And gets in a body shot to punctuate the round. There's Miguel Cotto at ringside. Most believe he's trying to determine whether he wants to fight Sergio Martinez for the middleweight championship of the world, or whether he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez at 154.
Moving your head, all right? Keep fighting smart, okay? Okay, we're doing it aggressive, but in a smart way, okay? And you're doing very good. Keep that going, all right? Give me the jab when you step in. When you go to the body, follow up with uppercuts, okay? Don't chase him. When he's moving around, don't chase him. Just cut the ring, okay? Right? Ya está. Vamos a ir acabando poco a poquito. That's very three. ¿Cómo siente usted? ¿Cómo siente su poder de él?
How's his power? Nothing. You see Rios chasing, land a beautiful left hook, clean on the button, followed by right hand to the body. It kind of grazes his arms first. This is the fight that Rios needs to fight to pull off an upset tonight.
Total punches in round three. Pacquiao was 17 of 70. Rios more accurate, 16 of 50. The competitive margin between the two of them narrowing since round one. Harold, how do you have it so far?
Okay, Jim, I got a 3-0, 30-27, Manny Pacquiao. You know, Jim, for a southpaw, he's got a great right hand. I mean, he bangs him with a right hook, a right jab, a right something, and then he turns just like that. And Rios, you know, it's hard for Rios to get him because he's always moving. I mean, he uses that right hand better than any southpaw I can remember. Look at that, a combination, but he always starts with a right hand. He doubled the right hand right there, and southpaws don't double the right hand. 3-0, Manny Pacquiao.
And he's off to a hot start in round number 4.
Most of the guys Pacquiao's fought have said afterwards, wow, the power was surprising from a little guy, you know, once he moved up in weight. Here, Rios seems pretty comfortable taking these power shots. And he's taking a lot of them.
He's sparring Marcus Maidana out of shape, and you take that power, you know what power really is.
Manny Pacquiao paused to talk to Gina Rodriguez. Brandon Rios kept hitting it throughout the whole thing.
He better realize he's in a fight. I don't like Pacquiao's body language myself, Jim.
Don't like what body language?
I don't like Pacquiao's body language.
In what way?
Well, it just doesn't look like he's having fun out there. It looks like he's working, and that's not what you want to see in a guy usually. You want to see a guy kind of enjoying what he's doing. Brandon's enjoying what he's doing. Pacquiao really is not.
The dynamo Pacquiao, when he landed these kind of punches, you saw more of an effect on the opponent. Rios is a big welterweight, even though he's coming up in weight. He is a big, strong welterweight here.
So the question that seems to be emerging in our discussion here is, all right, Pacquiao's winning the battle. Is he winning the war? Because frankly, I think it would be a scoring mistake if we saw an official card where he hadn't won the first 3 rounds. But yes, Rios likes what he's doing.
That's the fight Pacquiao needs right there. When you see that part, see how he had before right there? That's the Pacquiao you want to see. Not Pacquiao just standing right there in front of Brandon.
Robert Garcia wants Rios not to follow him, meaning turn every time Pacquiao turns, but he wants him to cut off the ring, to slide over and cut off Manny Pacquiao's escape routes.
The only thing Brandon is doing wrong right now is not starting with a body attack first. He should start with a body attack first if he watched the Margarita fight.
Pacquiao consistently escaping the pressure in this round, but having to work very hard to do it. Pacquiao got in one big left hand to punctuate that drive.
Completely. Simple. Okay. Beautiful boxing. All right, I'm here now. Easy for you. You're way too fast.
Wala kang babaguhin sa galaw. Right? Keep going, keep going. Iron him out, iron him out. Okay. Pero siga bien cerradito with that smart. Be smart. Keep going smart.
He see Pacquiao attack with a straight left hand, move out to the right, then he comes back and attacks with the left hand, right hook, right uppercut, four punches rather, and moves out to his left. This is the type of attack that Mike Alvarado used very effectively against Brandon Rios.
And of course, Manny Pacquiao is even more capable of doing that with his faster feet than Mike Alvarado. But now we're fighting at 147. Rios Alvarado was at 140. Brandon Rios fighting a southpaw for the first time in 8 years. Harold Letterman has seen Pacquiao winning each of the first 4 rounds.
Now Rios has Pacquiao moving to Pacquiao's left, which is probably what Rios wants. At least he did.
Oh, good left
hand by Pacquiao. Perfect shot.
He stepped off Rios' jab and countered with a straight left hand. Best punch in the fight for Pacquiao so far. Seemed like it woke Rios up.
But the knockout of Hatton took place at 140 pounds. At welterweight and above, Pacquiao, when he scores stoppages, wears his opponent down with these kind of punches.
Hard left hands to the body by Pacquiao. 3 of them, a left upstairs, a right-left combination. Manny Pacquiao is putting on a show in the early part of round 5.
Rios stalking but not throwing punches. He's got to stick that right hand out. The straight right hand out right there when he attacks Pacquiao, or he's going to allow Pacquiao to keep stepping out to the right like he's doing and never hem him up or catch him in a corner like Robert Garcia wants him to do.
So far as you advertised, Roy, Brandon Rios' best punch is that stiff left jab. When he throws it, it's been effective.
But now Pacquiao's right hook is forcing him to keep the left hand at home for defense.
Exactly right.
See, right there, you should use a straight right hand to the body, not so much to the head.
Rios to me.
Yes. You don't want to headhunt against a guy like Pacquiao.
Brandon Rios is so good at working the body with the free hand in a clinch. Not good at stopping Manny Pacquiao from firing combinations in the middle of the ring.
Who can?
Well, one way to stop him from firing is catch him with something hard in the exchange and knock him down or out.
And that's what Brandon's trying to do right now.
He's not going to beat Pacquiao to the punch, but if he punches with Pacquiao, it could be dangerous for Manny.
Great body shot with the left by Pacquiao. Left, right, left. Further combination. Round 5 has been a round in which Pacquiao has shown off his remarkable speed, his still thunderous punching authority, and his ability to get away from Brandon Rios' forward rushes. And will Rios, father of Brandon Rios, at ringside.
Usted nomás bien bloqueadito, Brandon. Don't let him throw too many punches. Keep pressing him, keep pressing him. When you throw, don't throw just one. You gotta throw more than one at a time. You gotta throw 2 or 3 punches. And then stay on him, stay on him. Get close to him, get close to him. Make it a little rough, all right? All right, all right? Remember, all right? Remember what we, okay? Okay? Yeah? Okay, because they're already rubbing his legs. So
He see Pacquiao step off of Brandon's jab right there, counter with a beautiful straight left hand, high on the head, right on the right eye of Brandon Rios's. Brandon Rios smiles, but usually when they smile, they feel it.
And here's Ricky Pacquiao's reaction to the big left-hand shot. Our shots in round 5, Pacquiao 22 of 40. Scintillating round for him. 9 of 21 for Brandon Rios.
They started fighting before the bell. What happens when you have 2 guys who like to fight?
Another straight left-hand shot landed for Pacquiao. Gino Rodriguez warns Brandon Rios to keep the body shots up.
I'm a little bit surprised that Brandon isn't using that straight right hand a little bit more. Pacquiao's hitting him with the straight left hand. The opposite thing to do is hit Pacquiao back with the straight right hand.
Hard when the other guy's right foot is always on the outside. You know, Rios is rarely in punching at the right punching angle to land that punch, I think.
Well, no, he's at the right punch, right angle, right there when he steps to the left with his jab. That's the time to throw the straight right hand.
After the jab.
Yeah, because his foot is outside of Pacquiao's front foot at that point. Like right there. See that?
Yep.
He's just not throwing it. Which is why I say I'm surprised.
I think the real key is, Roy, Pacquiao's being disciplined about not chasing a knockout. He's not staying in there to try to land the 3rd and 4th punch. He's firing his 1-2 combinations, and he's moving away, and he's making it hard for Brandon to answer.
Yeah, and Rios is not yet in sellout mode.
He's still hard body shots for Rios.
Right, he's having enough moments like that where he doesn't feel as though he needs to sell out his game plan yet.
Good body shot by Pacquiao.
And Rios lands to the body. Pacquiao answers to the body. And again, the left hand to the body, the straight left to the body, was a major focus of training camp for Pacquiao.
Good left hand to the head.
That's been there since the beginning of time. Now Pacquiao looks at Gino Rodriguez to complain about a Lobo. Rodriguez does nothing. Brandon Rios clacks him upside the head. Answer, Manny, you're going to have to protect yourself against the body blows. Gino Rodriguez is not able to protect you yet.
Oh, that hurt Brandon Rios, I think.
See, Rios' instinct is to fight back.
You know it. That's just who he is.
He'll remain dangerous even as he's hurt.
Angry about the low blow, Pacquiao that time stayed in there to fire the 4th and 5th punch in the combination.
Oh.
Pacquiao clearly the stronger, crisper puncher.
Brandon Rios has blood outside the left eye.
Look it up. Look it up, guys. Look it up. Look it up.
Possibly the product of the Pacquiao right hook. Left hook by Rios. Ruslan Probodnikov, a buddy of Manny Pacquiao's, after having been his primary sparring partner for 2 big fights. Happy with what he sees.
Ahí va, no le das, ahí vamos, Tienes que mover más la cabeza.
You gotta move your head a bit more. And don't let him give him too many chances for him to throw so many punches.
You gotta work on throwing. Okay. You gotta work on throwing more than 1 punch at a time, all right? Stay down. It's fine, it's fine. It's on the side. Yes. Okay? That's 3-2. That when he comes in, throw the 3-2. Okay? Huh? Yeah, it was a look. It's all right. It's all right, Brian.
Take the block from the other guy. That's your block.
Ganito ha. Huwag kang masyadong mabait.
He see Pacquiao come in with 1, 2, 3, 4 punches. Once he gets Brandon Rios on the defense, he just keeps his hands moving to try to make Brandon keep his hands at home for defense.
CompuBox numbers through 6. Pacquiao's 139 out of 394. Those are very good numbers. Brandon Rios lagging behind numerically, 76 out of 269. Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Jim, I find this fight a very, very easy fight to score so far. I got it 6-0, 60-54, Manny Pacquiao. I mean, I think the guy's putting on a beautiful exhibition of boxing. Sometimes he leads with that right, sometimes he leads with the left. Most of the time he throws 3 or 4 punch combinations, then he moves. I mean, he turns to his left, he turns to his right, he keeps Rios covered up. He's just doing a job on him. 6-0, Manny Pacquiao.
Rios pawing at the blood on his left eye. Seems tentative with that
right eye
now.
is swelling as well. Both of Rios's eyes are beginning to show damage.
Yeah, the right eye from that left hand, that straight left hand that Pacquiao keeps landing repeatedly.
At what point does Rios think, okay, the game plan is not working? As I mentioned, he hadn't sold out his game plan yet. And I have to throw some blind left hooks, see if I can catch this guy, whether or not I know where he is exactly.
I'd say we're getting there. Yes. I'd say we're getting there pretty fast. Pacquiao is beginning to toy with him.
Yeah, now he's having fun. That's what you want to see out of Pacquiao. You want to see him out there having a good time, enjoying what he does.
And just when Rios was starting to do some damage to the body, referee Gino Rodriguez pulled him off of it. Straight left hand lands for Pacquiao again. Hard right hand by Rios, his best punch in a while. Pacquiao lands his own right hook. Rios just missed with a left hook. Finally drives Pacquiao into the ropes like a football player. And he gets away.
The only question right now is, are there any moments left in the fight for Rios where, as a desperate puncher, he becomes dangerous for Manny? Because at this moment, it's a complete paint job.
Yeah, the notion of grinding Pacquiao down is ebbing away. It's going to take an explosion of some sort to disrupt Pacquiao's momentum. He's established what he can do in the fight, and he's doing it over and over.
Back it up, let's go, back it up.
Good right hook.
You wonder also how Brandon is carrying this extra weight.
Oh. 7 rounds in the books.
See more head movement, okay? I need to see more head movement and hands up high, Brandon. Huh? Okay?
Get the eyes on him.
I need to see more. I need to see more head movement, and when you have him in the ropes, you gotta throw punches, more than one. You gotta stay in close to him, Brandon. You can't give him the distance. When you give him the distance is when he's landing, all right? You gotta stay close to him, Brandon.
Here you see Pacquiao with another one of these 5-punch combinations. Once he gets Brandon on the defense, he forces Brandon to keep his hands at home, and that way Brandon can cause Pacquiao no harm because he won't punch as long as he's using his own hands for defense.
Manny Pacquiao's mother urged him to retire after the Marquez fight, complained that she felt as though he lost the Marquez by knockout because he had changed his religion. Manny says everything's all good with Mom at this point. Manny Pacquiao coming in off the longest layoff of his career, 350 days, and Roy Jones, you, along with the promoter and Freddie Roach, a variety of people said taking the long layoff was the smartest thing he could have done.
Yeah, it was the smartest thing he could have done because it allowed his body to readjust from that one-punch knockout. Not like he hadn't been through it before and like his body didn't know what to do, but it gives your body a chance to relax and reset itself and come back. So now the punches, as you see that Bam Bam are hitting him with, really aren't really phasing Pacquiao much, so I think the layoff was really good for him. Not that one punch couldn't still do the job, but I'm just saying, I think that the layoff is good to help his confidence and everything else as far as taking a punch.
So far, Rios is trying to do what he can do, use his size. He's thrown some hard shots. He's been opportunistic when Pacquiao's turned to the ref or when he's had one hand free like right here, and he's just being outclassed. As was the expectation of many.
Manny Pacquiao is allowing Brandon Rios to fire all these right-hand punches while he holds on urgently to the left hand. It's almost as if Manny is saying, I don't much care about your right hand. It's your left hook that bothers me.
That right hand took care of Alvarado in that first fight pretty good.
Another clean shot by Pacquiao.
A great body shot by Pacquiao.
There's the left hook from Brandon Rios, and he landed it right on the chops.
Actually, I think it was a good jab, which the punch he seems to have gotten away from.
Well, if it was a jab, it was an angled jab.
Yeah.
But you can do that. Another 1-2 for Pacquiao.
But that was the right idea for Rios. Even if you're going to take some shots, punch with Pacquiao, because you're never going to beat him to the punch.
And Pacquiao keeps turning Rios to Rios' left and is throwing him off because Rios can't punch well while Pacquiao is making him turn.
Pacquiao's earlier focus on body shots may now be altering as he looks at Brandon Rios' right and left eye and sees the targets that could end the fight for him. And there's another hard right-hand shot by Manny Pacquiao. It's very hard to discourage a willful warrior like Brandon Rios. But Pacquiao's working on it.
Yeah, Rios' face is a mess right now.
¿Ya está cansando? Tenemos 4 rounds.
We've got 4 rounds.
Okay.
He's tired already.
Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
Así le va a sacar ganas, okay?
Right here,
you
man.
You have to suck it up, okay, in the last 4 rounds. You got to stay close to him and keep throwing punches, okay? Don't make it easy for him. If you give him the distance, you make it easy for him. Breathe in.
Little face, little face. He reaches. Once he reaches, you know, that hook left hand is going to be really good for you, okay? All right? Under and out after, okay? Don't stay in the pocket too long. Hook left hand, under and out.
3 seconds na tayo sa alis na kagad. Kombinasyon, bigla lang. Babang, segundos
okay.
lang.
Yeah, boy.
Average CompuBox rounds through 8. The average Pacquiao round, 23 out of 66. Heavy emphasis on power shots. Those are very representative Manny Pacquiao numbers. The Rios rounds, 13 out of 44. More jab lands than power shot lands. Those are not representative numbers for Brandon Rios, and they won't win him the fight. Pacquiao ripping Rios with straight left hands. And as long as Rios has to keep his hands at home to stop Pacquiao's power shots upstairs, it's going to be difficult for him to find a way to continue trying to break Pacquiao down.
Yeah, it is, Jim. It's going to be very hard for him to find a way to break Pacquiao down. But the one thing I think we must understand is that I don't think Bam Bam Rios ever expected to beat Pacquiao by decision.
So far, in terms of how much does Pacquiao have left, what we've seen in terms of a return to form is Pacquiao fighting throughout the round rather than taking long rest periods as he had against Tim Bradley, for example.
Exactly. This is a sustained effort every second of every round. Focus, concentration, devotion.
Good body shot by Rios, followed by some good counter punches from Pacquiao.
Part of that is also Tim Bradley, who can play some defense and is a very well-rounded fighter. Tovia Brio fight, and then, which he got the decision in that fight, but most think he didn't deserve it. And then the Alvarado fight. Rios is the kind of guy who seemed to be able to overcome fights where maybe it didn't look like he was having his best night or things weren't going his way. He could shake it off and come through. And I don't see him quitting in this fight. At this moment, he's still trying to land big shots, but he's really getting broken down by Pacquiao, although maybe not quite as much in this round as in the previous rounds.
Well, this is the biggest hand speed deficit I think Rios has ever faced. Never fought a guy with the hand speed of Manny Pacquiao. As we know, speed is power.
He may never have fought anybody with the punching power of Manny Pacquiao either.
That's what I just said.
Because Rios is coming up to 140. Yeah, speed is power.
Speed is power, so...
Yeah.
Okay? You gotta work your way in with more right hands. You have to. Okay? Press right in. Okay, Brendan? You have to stay in closer and throw more punches, more right hands. Okay? Work your right hand. Don't make mistakes from far away. You gotta work your way in. Don't throw from far away. Okay?
Here we see Pacquiao landing his best punch throughout this whole fight, which has been the counter left and the straight left lead. That was a counter left, there's a counter left, or a left lead because he threw it at the same time. Here's a counter left hand again. That straight left hand has caused Brandon Rios all types of trouble all night long, especially off of his jab.
As the result, Brandon Rios is now grotesquely swollen up around both the right and the left eye. You saw blood earlier outside the left eye. The right eye hasn't burst open yet, but it's threatening to do so. Harold, how do you have it through 9?
Jim, I still say it's an easy fight to score. 90-81, 9 rounds to nothing, Manny Pacquiao. I mean, I think the guy's just pitching a shutout. Fighting a beautiful fight. The right jab, the combinations, and then he moves. Constantly landing and turning, landing and turning. And I got to tell you, I'll say what I said before. He's got a great right hand for a southpaw. I mean, he's got power in that hook. He snaps the jab. He does all the right things with a right hand that you don't see southpaws do. 9-0, Manny Pacquiao.
In some ways, Gino Rodriguez.
Don't do that, man. Don't do that.
Continues to warn Brandon Rios on a variety of fronts. In some ways, this is reminiscent to me of what Sergio Martinez was able to do against Julio Cesar Chavez. The only question now remains is will Pacquiao get risky and give Brandon a chance in the last couple of rounds, the way Martinez risked, tried for a knockout, and gave Chavez Jr. the chance to land those big shots.
Well, so far this has been not the physical phenom Pacquiao, though he's been very fast and landed very good shots. This has been the Freddie Roach pupil Pacquiao, the guy who Freddie Roach took and refined from this physical phenom to a more complete fighter, and he's showing those skills against Rios tonight.
And he's very busy. Anytime he's operating like this, it's very difficult to deal with him. Now he seems to be enjoying it again.
Very good analogy, I think, with the Martinez-Chavez fight.
Yes.
It's looked a lot like that.
Will Pacquiao give Rios chances late, and will Rios take them? Will he try to make his own opportunities?
He doesn't have the kind of punching thunder that Chavez Jr. has.
He doesn't have what?
The punching thunder that Chavez Jr. has.
No,
the one-shot power.
No, he doesn't, but he does throw the right type of punches. If he can land the overhand right like that.
Oh, he can still hurt him. I'm not saying he couldn't hurt him.
Rios is not a cruiserweight.
No, he's not.
That's right.
But he is a junior middleweight.
And to a small welterweight like Pacquiao, it may be the same thing.
No, he's a middleweight. He's 159.
Right, 159. He came in as a middleweight.
I thought he was 49.
With his unofficial weight.
See that right hand right there, Max? That's the right hand I was saying I thought he should have thrown earlier in the fight because he had it lined up. He just, because Pacquiao punches so hard, he wouldn't let the hands go like that.
But there's a certain kind of stubbornness about Rios, and his face looks like it's a Rocky movie right now, that Chavez Jr. also has. That served Chavez Jr. well late in that fight with Martinez.
ano, pag-hoopling, pag semi-straight mo. Uduko man siya. Kita kayo. Ha?
All right. Good.
Those are the punches landed through 10 rounds against Brandon Rios. Pacquiao evenly distributing the punches upstairs and landing over and over to the body with the right hand. And a left hand to the body, what they worked on so much in training camp. He hasn't used it as much in the latter stages of the fight because he's been throwing the left upstairs, firing at the eyes. Power shots in round 10. Pacquiao 21 of 40. Rios at 5 of 17.
Rios just looked over at me, winked and smiled and said, I loved it, like he was mad. I love it.
Well, he may love it, but he's a guy who says, I enjoy getting hit. If you wanted to enjoy getting hit, he's gotten his money's worth here tonight.
Garcia, remember, was in Margarito's corner, and though it looked like there were moments where that fight could be stopped, Garcia defiantly didn't stop that fight, and he and Margarito were both glad at the end of that fight when Margarito was still on his feet in spite of the damage.
Broken
done.
orbital bone, damage to his eye, which continues to this day.
They were both proud of that.
Well, Brandon hasn't taken the abuse tonight that Margarito took, though.
But it's something like it.
Brandon hasn't been quite as defenseless as the slower Margarito was.
Exactly. No broken bones so far.
That we know about.
Back it up, back it up, back it up, oh, back it up.
Good hook by Pacquiao. Good hook by Brandon. Oh, another good hook by Brandon.
Good left hook by Brandon Rios, his best punch in quite a while.
Got Pacquiao's attention.
Pacquiao felt it.
Good body shot by Brandon, too.
So Pacquiao has to go to work again and make Brandon keep his hands at home. Four minutes left in the fight.
Good jab
Rios
by
lands
Brandon.
And a right hand.
Yep, jab and a right hand by Rios. He's getting better in this round. Pacquiao tiring just a bit, or so it seems.
And Chavez Jr., by the way, had moments in the 11th round.
Correct.
That weren't dissimilar from that.
Pace slows as suddenly it appears that Rios is now searching for one big shot.
Well, that was should have been his game plan from the beginning, though, Jim. He's not the boxer here, he's the fighter.
That's been proven unequivocally. 3 minutes to go.
You gotta go with everything, Brandon.
You gotta give it all right here in this round. Let me go. Take deep breath. How you feeling? Eh? Yeah? Con cuidado, okay? You gotta be smart about it. Don't make mistakes anyway. But I need you to be more aggressive, all right? But don't get caught with punches that you're not supposed to, all right? Let's keep working, keep trying. But you can.
When you get him going, he cannot fight going backwards. Don't let him have momentum and come to you, okay? All right? All right, you back him up with your combinations. All right? Manny, I know you're
Within the last 5 rounds, Pacquiao has landed 89 power shots to 43 for Brandon Rios. As we come to the 12th round, Harold Letterman has given every one of the 11 rounds in the fight to Manny Pacquiao. A clean shutout.
Let's see how the instructions in the corner play out, because they want more aggression, obviously, in Rios' corner. in Pacquiao's corner. Roach doesn't want to let Rios build up a head of steam. He wants Pacquiao
backing him up.
How does that play out when he was just knocked out in his last fight, jumping in on a guy? Pacquiao was.
He don't want him to jump in on him. What he wants him to do is hit him with the 4 and 5 punch combinations to keep him back like that.
Tremendous 1-2 combination by Pacquiao. Actually, it was a hook and straight left hand combo.
Yeah, he wants him to keep him on the end like that so that Brandon can't get momentum coming forward.
Brandon Rios' face and head are going to look like a basketball tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Pacquiao hasn't had a knockout in years.
Yeah, but as you see, he was smart then and pulled back off of Brandon Rios because he knows last time when he went too quick, he got caught himself. So he just showed you some discipline right there in the corner. When he had a chance, I think the old Pacquiao would have went for the knockout right there. He backed off.
And Rios looked like there was a little wobble there, like there was a little give momentarily.
Well, he could have been trying to play possum, but Pacquiao didn't go for it.
Rios' face.
I think Pacquiao is enjoying looking at Rios' swollen, bloodied face.
He is.
He promised to punish Rios for the friction between the two camps that erupted into a battle in the gym the other day. He promised to show that he was the old Manny Pacquiao and that there's no reason to suggest his career is over. He promised to throw punches in bunches and to land his power shots. He's done all of that. The only thing he hasn't done is to fulfill the prediction of most boxing experts that he would get a knockout or a TKO. But maybe it wasn't worth the risk. Maybe it was better simply to pile up the numbers and outdo Rios in every round the way he has so far. The crowd loves it. They're on their feet in Macau. Before he goes to his corner, Manny Pacquiao goes to every person in Brandon Rios' corner to exchange congratulations, including Alex Ariza, with whom he has so much conflict in the past.
Which once again is a credit to the personality and the character that Manny Pacquiao really is. Manny Pacquiao is one of the best people that you ever meet in the sport of boxing, and that again is an attribute to the person that he is.
It has something to do with the worldwide Pacquiao phenomenon.
A happy warrior and as comfortable a public figure as you'll ever find. Harold, who are the three official judges who are scoring this fight, and is there any chance that they blow it somehow?
No, they can't blow this one. Lisa Giamper, you know, she's a new judge. She's the wife of a very well-known judge, Chuck Giamper in Las Vegas. She works as a sales rep there. She had Orlando Salido, you know, over one-on-one markets. She had to fight even at the time of the knockout. Manfred Kuchler from Germany, well-known referee and judge in Europe. He had Vladimir Klitschko, 7th round TK over Hasim Rahman. But, you know, everybody had that one right. And Michael Pernick, one of my favorite judges, real good guy, from Delray Beach, Florida. He had Golovkin over Stevens, 79-71, but he should have given Golovkin a 2-point round in the 8th.
Harold, are you expecting 3 shutout scorecards here?
Yeah. 3 scores of 120-108. Absolutely, Jim. It has to be.
Let's see what Michael Buffer has as we go up for the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the Venetian Macau, we go to the scorecards. Michael Pernick scores it 120-108. Lisa Giamper has it 119-109. And Manfred Kuchler scores it 118-110. all to the winner by unanimous decision. He's back, the fighting pride of the Philippines, Manny Pacquiao!
His first win in 2 years. It's still been 4 years since a knockout has taken place, but he didn't need a knockout tonight.
No,
dominated every round.
It was smarter for him not to really go for a knockout tonight, because going for a knockout would have been the only way that he gave Brandon Rios a chance to pull off an upset, and it was very smart. Showed a lot of things about Pacquiao. Did not go for the knockout, be disciplined, and stick to the fight plan.
Final CompuBox numbers. Pacquiao landing 143 more punches, more than doubling Brandon Rios in landed punches, throwing 288 more, landing at a significantly higher connect percentage. Power shots, Pacquiao landing 110 more, throwing 205 more, landing at a higher percentage, although Rios landing 43 of his power shots. That's something of a dark cloud for Pacquiao looking down the road to the future. And here is the punch zone graphic that shows you the complete picture of where the punches landed for the two fighters. And most interestingly, Rios only landing 57 body shots to 40 for Pacquiao. Logic tells you if Brandon Rios was going to have a chance in the fight, he needed to land more body shots than that.
Way more body shots. That should have been the key to his attack.
Let's go to Max Kellerman with the winner.
Congratulations, Manny. You won every round by a wide margin. Do you feel that you're all the way back from your losses now?
I feel that, and that's what I'm trying to do before the fight, to give a good fight. If the knockout comes, will come. And but I try to finish the fight, but my opponent's very tough. So give credit to him.
You looked at certain points late in the fight like you'd considered going in for the knockout, and maybe thought, maybe don't be reckless and go and win on points. Is that what happened?
It's a last round. It's a last round, no? You know, I was winning the whole round, and then you know, I don't want to get careless in the last round, so I back off and, you know, just finish the round.
Was there any moment in the fight where he caught you with a good shot and you were able to take it and felt more comfortable getting hit in your first fight back?
I tell you, he hit me a good solid punch, and I tell you, it's hard. It's hard. I'm hurt.
You were hurt at one point.
Yes.
Do you remember the round?
I forget the round, but I think it's fifth round. Fifth round, yeah.
Manny, after the fight, you went up to everyone in Brandon Rios' camp, including Alex Ariza, and congratulated him on a tough fight. Tell me about that.
Yes, you know, it's good. You know, let's give credit to Alex Ariza. He, you know, his fighter is a very strong fighter and a tough fighter. He, you know, he's not easy opponent. I mean,
is that your way of showing by example, forgiving?
You know, we have the job to do in the ring, but after the fight, you know, we're all brothers and sisters, you know.
What's it like having this reception here in Asia, your first fight here since you've become a superstar?
Oh, good evening, everybody. Thank you to all the fans who came here tonight and witnessed the good fight. You know, I'm so happy and grateful and thankful to God that He gave me this victory tonight, you know.
Do you think that you've reestablished, you said your era is not over, the Pacquiao era is not over before the fight. Do you think that you proved that point with this fight, and who do you want going forward?
You know, first, you know, that's what I thought. I mean, my time is not over yet, and Rios, he's not an easy opponent. He's a good fighter and strong fighter. And I consider this fight is one of the toughest fights in my career. He took a lot of punches and solid punches, but he still stand up and fight back, you know.
And who are you looking forward to, Manny? What are you looking forward to?
It depends to my promoter, Bob Arum, you know. I don't know yet.
Thank you, Manny, and congratulations.
And thank you so much. And I'd like to thank
to all the Filipino people, especially to those people who are affected by typhoon. The fight is for you. The honor is, is for you. Thank you so much to all of you, to all your prayers, and thanks be to God that He gave me this victory and He gave me strength tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Manny. Brandon, tough fight, and you showed a lot of determination to continue. What are your thoughts at this moment?
It is what it is. It's part of boxing. Man did a great job. He's very fast. That's it. Power-wise, I didn't feel that much, but his quickness, I think that bothered me a little bit. That was it. Other than that, I'm good, man. Yeah, he couldn't. Like I said, I thought it was a 4-round fighter, but I got to him 12 rounds.
You said before the fight, hey, I'm not going to be a punching bag. I have skills. Do you feel you proved something with this fight going the distance with Pacquiao?
What do you think, man? You're the one that asked the question. What do you think? You was watching it. You think I'm a punching bag?
I don't think you're a punching bag. I think you're incredibly determined.
No, that's not the answer I asked. What do you think?
I just said I don't think you're a punching bag. I think you're very determined.
You answered the question then.
Was there a thought in your mind at any point to sell out a game plan and just try to land a knockout punch late?
Never. Like I said, Manny Pacquiao is very fast. Like I said, I fought one of the greatest boxers in the world, besides Mayweather. And he's very fast, very awkward. But other than that, I stick to my game plan. I just think the speed just got me a little bit, I have fast sparring partners, but I think he was faster than them.
Thanks, Brandon. Jim?
All right. Thank you very much, Max Kellerman. We'll leave aside Rios, his reaction to the fight, obvious and predictable. As far as Manny Pacquiao is concerned, Roy, I'm thinking he's cruel enough as a fighter, but the humanity as a human being continues to grow.
Yeah, it does. And people always talk about, did his religion cause his downfall? But no way could it have caused his downfall. His religion made him a better person than who he was. His religion is what brought him through the things that he's been through and gave him strength to continue to go on and do like he did tonight. I'm very happy for Manny Pacquiao. So glad that he answered the naysayers. Brandon Rios did give it a good go. He made a lot of changes in his career. He made a lot of changes in his style that allowed him to go 12 rounds with the hard punching Pacquiao. But I think Pacquiao is back on track and ready to go again.
All right, thank you very much, Roy Jones. Brilliant job tonight. Max Kellerman, what is Manny Pacquiao's future now?
Not quite what it once was, even before the losses. This fight fits into the pattern that we saw leading up to, say, the Bradley or maybe the Marquez fight, where, part of what people loved about Pacquiao, even as he rose in weight and blitzed Oscar De La Hoya and then flattened Ricky Hatton, and then, by the way, stopped Miguel Cotto, was that he was a risk taker. Now, that backfired against Marquez, and it's probably smarter against these bigger fighters to back off if you have the fight already won. But he's not quite the same guy, neither in terms of his speed and explosiveness, nor in terms of the kind of mentality he brings to the ring, which was not that many years ago one of a finisher, and one that made us imagine that we're watching one of the very greatest fighters who ever lived at his best. He's not that guy anymore, but he's still pretty damn good.
And at the end of the day, mission accomplished. We came a long way, and whether the ultimate experiment of boxing in China, Zhou Shiming, Pacquiao as the linchpin of an effort to take over Asia economically for boxing, whether all of that will play out, who knows? Remains to be seen. But this trip becomes a success because the show went off well. A relatively meager-looking undercard produced a couple of interesting activities, and then Manny Pacquiao did what he was supposed to do to preserve his career in the ring. And of course, you'll see Brandon Rios again as well. Maybe most interestingly, in the last few days before the fight took place, it became a grudge match. And the winner of the grudge was Manny Pacquiao and his corner. Thanks very much for being with us on this terrific trip to China for HBO pay-per-view. Pacquiao versus Rios has been brought to you by Cerveza Tecate con Carácter. Two legends, the ultimate rivalry. Grudgement Day is coming. Brought to you by Warner Brothers. It's the new comedy Grudge Match in theaters Christmas Day. By HBO pay-per-view. The best in pay-per-view entertainment brought to you by HBO. Finally, tune into ESPN Deportes for full fight coverage with Juan Manuel Marquez, Jorge Eduardo Sanchez, and Bernardo Osuna. Sports Center, followed by Golpe a Golpe, immediately following this telecast. And now for all of us here on a very special show from Macau, China, I'm Jim Lampley saying good night.